Good morning and welcome to Around the Globe on Aneke TV. First, let's take a look at the headlines. French President Emmanuel Macron says France will recognize Palestine as a state. More than 100,000 displaced as Thailand-Cambodia border clashes enter second day. Former head of Central African football body jailed for war crimes. Kenyan police officers accused of using disproportionate force against protesters. Road safety arrested 290,887 road traffic violators nationwide. Peter Obi vows to visit Edo again, dismisses Okpebolo's threat. Mentawe Yewada emerges new APC national chairman. Wrestling legend Hulk Hogan dies at 71. I am Amaka Nichi. Now the news in detail. We begin in France. French President Emmanuel Macron says his country will recognize Palestine as a state, citing the urgent need to end the war in Gaza and alleviate the humanitarian crisis. The move will make it the first G7 nation to do so. In a post on X, Mr. Macron said the formal announcement would be made at a session of the UN General Assembly in New York in September. Mr. Macron also attached a letter to Palestinian Authority President Mahmoud Abbas confirming his decision. Meanwhile, Palestinian officials welcomed Macron's decision, while Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu said the move was a reward for terror. The move makes France the largest and arguably most influential country in Europe to move to recognize the Palestinian European Union members. Norway, Ireland and Spain indicated they would also begin the same process. We move to Asia. Thailand and Cambodia exchanged fire along their disputed border for a second day. Officials from both countries said with more than a dozen people they were killed and more than 100,000 civilians evacuated. Tensions between the Southeast Asian neighbors have been boiling for months over disputed sections of their 500-mile, 800-kilometer land border, demarcated partly by Cambodia's former colonial ruler France, and which runs near several archaeologically significant religious sites that both countries claim. The deputy spokesperson for the Thai Army, Colonel Richard Sukuswanan, said clashes broke out after Cambodia initiated firing using small arms and heavy weapons. In Kenya, Kenya's police watchdog has accused officers of using disproportionate force to quell a recent series of protests during which 65 people died. In a report, the Independent Policing Oversight Authority linked most of the deaths to actions by the police. It also highlighted the role of opportunities who infiltrated the protests, described as goons who undermined the principles of peaceful assembly. Over the past 6 weeks, there have been 4 separate days of demonstrations which were called over police brutality and anger at government policies. Still in Kenya, the former head of the Central African Republic CAR Football Association, Patrice Eduardo Ngasona, has been found guilty of committing 28 war crimes and crimes against humanity by judges at the International Criminal Court (ICC). He was accused alongside Alfred Yakatum of coordinating attacks against the country's Muslim population in 2013 and 2014. Yakatum, nicknamed Rambo, was found guilty of 20 charges. The judges gave their verdict after a trial lasting almost 4 years, involving more than 170 witnesses and nearly 20,000 items of evidence. Ngasona was sentenced to 12 years and Yakatum 15 years. Back home in Nigeria and Anambra State, a former Labour Party presidential candidate, Mr. Obi, has declared that he will return to Edo despite threats by the state governor, Monday Okpebolo. Mr. Obi spoke while responding to questions from journalists in Oka over Okpebolo's warning that his safety will not be guaranteed if he comes to the state. The former Anambra governor, who was at his alma mater, Christ the King College, CKC Onitsha, to make a donation, said he was not afraid of threats. He revealed that he receives threats every day. He stressed that if he had needed to be in Edo State to make a donation, he would not hesitate to go there. Mr. Obi was in CKC Onitsha, where he presented 50 million naira donations to the school. The donation was contributed by Obi and other old boys of the institution. Kwakwazo accuses Tinubu-led government of marginalizing. The 2023 presidential candidates of the New Nigeria People's Party (NNPP), Senator Rabiu Musa Kwakwanso, has accused President Bola Tinubu's administration of marginalizing northern Nigeria by concentrating the country's resources in the south. Speaking at the Kano State Stakeholders Dialogue on the 2025 constitutional amendment, Kwakwanso recounted the hardship he experienced traveling from Abuja to Kano due to the deplorable state of federal roads. While acknowledging the importance of infrastructure development across the country, Kwakwanso insisted on equity and fairness. Moving over to APC gets a new chairman. The Minister of Humanitarian Affairs, Professor Netanyahu Yowata, has emerged as the new national chairman of the All Progressives Congress, APC. Professor Yowata's appointment was confirmed during the National Executive Committee NEC meeting of the APC. He will replace Alhaji Abdullahi Ganduje, who resigned last month citing health issues. In Abuja, no fewer than 290,887 road traffic violators across the country have been arrested by the Federal Road Safety Corps (FRSC) between January and June. The Corps Marshal of the Corps, Malam Shehu Mohammed, announced this at a news conference in the local government area of Plateau. The national president of BYM, Mr. Solomon Wantiri, announced this during a news conference in Jos. Mr. Wantiri said that the gunmen destroyed crops on farmland during the attack, which made the areas uninhabitable for the locals. He called on the federal and state governments to address the visible humanitarian needs of the displaced persons in the community. And finally, in the U.S., professional wrestler Tyler Bolia, better known as Hulk Hogan, died yesterday at the age of 71. According to World Wrestling Entertainment, Bolia is widely recognized as the biggest wrestling star of all time and helped WWE become the behemoth that it is today. In the 1980s and 1990s, Bolia's larger-than-life personality in and out of the ring made him a household name and a crossover mainstream star, starring in movies and recognized around the world. That's it on the ground, the globe on Aneke TV. I am Aneke.
When stories are lost, things fall apart. That powerful reminder sets the tone for the Things Fall Apart Festival 2025, a celebration of Igbo heritage, art and identity. It is a reawakening of the spirits of a land through the lens of cultural legacy. This year's edition of a Things Fall Festival explores the journey of remembering, retelling, and reimagining the soul of the Igbo people both at home and in the diaspora. At the heart of the festival, the Center for Memories brought to life the character of Unoka as portrayed in the timeless works of Chinua Achebe. Unoka, the musical soul of a people, became a symbol of harmony, peace and love, echoing the rhythms of traditional Igbo life during July 2025 edition of Nkatu Mibe, a monthly distinguished speaker series organized by the Center for Memories. Scholars and elders illuminated the values that form the bedrock of Igbo society. A decentralized system of governance rooted in collective responsibility, wisdom-filled proverbs, witty sayings, and a reverence for ancestry. Reimagining in this context means returning to the roots, the four sacred market days, Eke, Ori, Afo, and Nkwo, which form the Igbo calendar. It is a call to remember Allah, the Earth goddess, and to restore balance through Umuada, the daughters of the land, who stand for equity and justice. This festival also drew parallels between Achebe's classic Things Fall Apart and today's realities, the loss of language, fading customs, and the urgent need to preserve identity. It reaffirmed that in Igbo culture, music was more than art, it was communication. It also showed that power was not in weapons, but in wisdom and in the bands of yam a man could harvest. The director of the Eastern Nigeria International Film Festival, Mrs. Obianujuako Nwakalo Akokwe, was the guest speaker for the July edition. In her presentation, which she entitled Onoka, Things Fall Apart When Stories Are Lost, Reimagining Alibo Through Cultural Memory, highlighted that in Igbo cosmology, the living, the dead, and the unborn remained in constant dialogue. She used Unoka's musical fluency to explore the spiritual essence of the Igbo worldview.
We often speak about Anibo as a land, a place on the map. But Anibo is more than geography. It is a worldview, a way of being in which community, spirit, and nature were so deeply connected. So the Igbo believed that life itself was spiritual. That was and still is our philosophy, a sense of purpose, wholeness, of Ubuntu, if you will. And when we speak of cultural memory, it is not nostalgia, it is survival. To reimagine Anibo through cultural memory is to walk back through the smog of colonial disruption, spiritual erasure, and economic devaluation and retrieve what was almost lost, our dignity, our designs, our spirituality to which our moral compass is tied. Before colonialism interrupted and recorded our value systems, our culture had created space for all kinds of people. There was room for the musician, the storyteller, the dibia, the hunter, the farmer, Digi, the palm wine tapper, Diochi, Dimba, the wrestler, Dinka, the creative person, and so many of them. Back then, strength was not only measured by aggression, power, or authority. It was also measured by wisdom, empathy, and restraint. But times changed. What changed? Colonial rule, missionary teachings, and later on, our own internal anxieties and insecurities. They turned us towards a narrower version of manhood, one that glorified dominance, immoral wealth, and excessive materialism. And in that shift, Unoka the flautist, the gentle father, the man who preferred music to war, became everything we were told to reject. But I want us to also pause even further and think. Unoka was not just a passive figure. He was a creative, a dinka, a master of music. And in a society where professions like Digi and Diochi were honored for sustaining the community, the dinka held a vital role too. He was the conscience of the community, the one who gave expression to joy, grief, conflict, and hope. His flute was not mere entertainment. It was a vessel of memory, emotion, communication, and collective reflection. And like all true artists, like myself and many others, he carried what others felt but could not say or express. Music in traditional Igbo life was not entertainment alone. It was communication, it was ritual, it was resistance and rest. The flutist was not idle, he was integral. And Unoka's role as a flutist, when understood in this light, was not one of failure but of function. His art served a purpose that our modern metrics no longer know how to measure. And Achebe, Chino Achebe, masterful as always, gives us a glimpse of this in the wrestling scene. And that is my best scene in the book. When Okonkwo prepares to wrestle Amalinze the cat, the sound of the flute floats in the background, a sound that reminded him about his father that he so despised. So even in Okonkwo's greatest moments, where he is at his most physically powerful, Achebe brings back the presence of Onoka through music. There's a lot packed in this scene: family history, identity, remembrance. And I do not think that it is accidental. That is memory. Onoka might be the one reminding us to slow down, to breathe, to live fully in the moment, to live life because of tomorrow, the very things so many of us are now trying to relearn. And there's something deeply ironic in all of this, that the very traits colonialism taught us to dismiss, tenderness, creativity, and emotional openness, are now celebrated around the world. And the traits we were made to embrace, stoicism and relentless striving, are the very things unraveling many of us from the inside. Because before all of that, our culture had created space for everyone. We lost that, not by tradition, but by disruption, and we are only beginning to remember. And maybe Achebe was not only showing us Okonkwo's tragedy, but offering us a quiet alternative. And maybe he was whispering that our future as a people does not depend on Okonkwo's fire alone, but also on Onoka's way of being, that both are needed and that neither should be forgotten. And maybe our loss of cultural memory is not simply about forgetting facts, but about forgetting our options, forgetting that there were once many ways that made us Igbo. Because when stories are lost, it is not just memory that disappears, it is identity, unity, spirituality, and even vision. We begin to lose our sense of honor, of home, not just as a place we return to at Christmas to show off our beautiful cars and mansion, or a place to perform culture by wearing red cap and displaying our isiago, but honor as a symbol. We forget that in Igbo cosmology, life is not linear, it is cyclical. And that to forget is to fall out of rhythm with who we are. And Igbo, in my opinion, didn't fall because the white man came. Part of it. But I think it fell and continued to fall because the stories stopped being told and documented. Our cosmology, the Igbo cosmology, was never random. It taught us that the dead, the living, and the unborn exist in constant dialogue. That names carry memory, that rituals are not superstition, they are structure. They map our time, our values, and our place in the world. But when memory fades, language begins to sleep. And with it, we lose the frame through which we once understood everything. Because to name is to remember. And if we can no longer call on the names of our deities, like Akwali Omumu, Ogugu, Udo, or speak of Ofo Nogu or Ikenga without discomfort or apology, then we are not merely forgetting, we are unlearning who we are. So what do we do now? We reimagine. And reimagining is hard work. It is invention rooted in remembrance. It means returning to the sources of memory that still linger among us and shaping them to meet this moment. We do not have to look very far to begin. The fragments are still here with us, some old, others cracked, but still alive with meaning. And perhaps the first of these is our language. Let us begin the reimagination with our language. Our proverbs are short, but they carry weight. In just a few words, they pass down lessons, values, and warnings. The Igbo do not shout to teach. We whisper wisdom in lines like Ebe Belu, Ugo Belu, and trust the hearer to understand. These are not just sayings, they are political blueprints. They teach justice, equity, and diplomacy. Then we turn to storytelling. I remember the moonlight evenings filled with riddles and tales of the tortoise, not just to entertain children, but to teach society. These stories carried lessons on greed, humility, cleverness, and survival. Our market days, Eke, Ore, Avo, Nankwo, they weren't just names on a calendar. They shaped how we lived, when we gathered, traded, rested, celebrated, and even buried our dead.
Na mbụ ọja m na-asị ekekele ụwa na ọkwa ọja ekenekwa gị na eluigwe na ala na-ekene gị na urukpuru na kpakpando na-ekene gị na ugwu na ndịna na-ekene gị ọjamana ekenekwa ọka okwu gwara anyị okwu mmiri dolo edo na-asị mmiri dolo edo na ọ ya abalụ gị mmiri dolo edo na ọkwa ọja na-ekene gị maka ka onye si eme ka ekwe si akpụ ya ka onye si eme ka ọja si akpụ ya
The director of the Center for Memories, Mazi Ihani Boko, added with conviction in his words, "Home is supreme. When things fall apart, we must reimagine Igbo land through cultural memory, especially through the oral transmission of our shared knowledge."
Home is supreme. Home is supreme. Home is important. When things fall apart, reimagine Igbo through cultural memory. As a people, we cannot move forward without an idea of who we are, what we do, what we are known for. That is culture. So we need to reignite our cultural memory to be able to transcend the now. Right? We need to begin to look at where we are coming from to be able to project into the future. So it's a very important conversation for a people, our people. So there's no better time than now to have this conversation.
Already, the reawakening spirit is heightened. The core remains clear, and that is, tell the story, hold the memory, and pass the cultural legacy of Ndibo. Jidofe Ebuche, Aneke TV.
aya kwabo na ma no mo ibo amu kwado dimi no di ekwekwe yibo do obeba aya kwabo na ma na amu kwado dimi ma jowo di de ekwekwe yibo do de do da amu na bo iya do do de ke iya do da amu no goro mo du ke ko do de ke ayi de ke je bo do de ke wo ga do do goro ko ma sha bi do de ke ti lo ma lo lo wo ele yo babari wo bu ji be go je ka kala wo la ke do ku bi de ya do lu bu la bu le je no ke do wo du lo to goro iya mo to mo to wo ku ma tu wa na ni de ni ba ku mo to ma la ku ko to de ni da ma jo
Good morning, Enugu. Good morning, wherever you are watching us from here in the Southeast. I am Aneke, as always. It's your feel-good start today on Sunrise on Aneke TV. And I am Faith Wins, as whether you're commuting, prepping for the day ahead, or enjoying a slow morning. Thank you for choosing to spend your morning with us. And guess what? It's Friday, July 25th, 2025, y'all, and a perfect day for positivity, progress, and perhaps a little pause to appreciate life. Absolutely. We've got everything lined up to brighten your morning, from inspiring quotes to get you up pondering all day long, leading news from our top stories as well. We'll take a look at today's weather reports to keep you abreast of happenings with the skies and the nature. Gideon will be here to hypnotize sports lovers and on sports updates. Then we will take a look at newspaper review to peruse the stories making headlines in our country. And finally, we will look through the sprinkles of fun at Global Daily Celebration. Okay, so moving on, we'll start off with our daily quotes for today. So let's open with today's uplifting thought, right? So we'll start off with the quote for today, and our quote for today is from American author. He's an American author, E.E. Cummings, and his quote is, It takes courage to grow up and become who you really are.
Powerful words.
Powerful words.
And this is a reminder that each step you take towards authenticity is a step worth celebrating. And that includes small steps and, everyday steps.
Yeah, definitely. I would want to know what you actually think about this quote, right? It's just everything, it's all about you. You are the author of your own destiny. You are the person in charge of your life. So whatever it is you choose to do with it, it's on you. Anyways, you can drop us your comment, what you think about this quote. You can drop your comments across all our social media platforms on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, and X, all at Aneke TV. We will read them all.
Short break coming up, but don't go anywhere. Your full weather outlook is just around the corner. On Aneke TV, and to plan your day with our detailed weather forecast across the southeast, we'll take you through the weather forecast for Enugu. Expect an overcast start this morning with heavy cloud covering lingering until midday. Showers are predicted between 11 a.m. and 2 p.m. with air temperatures ranging from 24 to 29 degrees Celsius. Humidity will be high, so light breathable clothes and an umbrella for sure are your best companions today.
And moving to Oka. Oka's morning will begin with gentle drizzle, easing into breaks of sunshine around noon. So we should expect a chance of late afternoon thunderstorms, especially between 3 p.m. and 6 p.m. Temperatures will be in the mid-20s, roughly around 26 degrees Celsius.
Abakaliki should see mostly cloudy skies at first, with scattered afternoon showers likely around 1 p.m. Daytime highs will hover between 24 and 27 degrees Celsius, with a refreshing breeze to break up the humidity.
And for Owerri, a wet morning is on the way. Showers will begin early and may continue intermittently through midday. So expect high humidity and temperatures between 22 and 27 degrees Celsius. Best dressed in light layers and sneakers.
Finally, over to Umahia. Umahia will wake up to a moody sky, mist in the lowlands with light rain starting by late morning. Expect another burst of showers or a thunderstorm in the late afternoon. Temperature should stay in the 23 to 28 degrees Celsius range.
So dress smart, stay dry, and plan around those afternoon showers. We'll keep tracking updates for you as the day goes on. Let's go on a quick break, but stay connected, sport lovers, for when we return, Gideon will be here with sports. You're still watching Sunrise on Aneke TV. Right about now, it's time for the sports segment with Gideon. So all my sports lovers, stay tuned, and let's go over to Gideon to give us a sports update. Good morning, Gideon.
Good morning, Aneke. We missed you yesterday. Good morning, Nigeria. Good morning, sports lovers. Let's start from the home front. MPFL story is still trending. Yesterday we saw Barrow FC, the newly promoted club, the Kano club, actually hired another experienced tactician. Ladan Bosu is a popular name in Nigeria football. Remember, he coached our national team. He has coached a lot of clubs. Coach Kanu Pillars, Wiki Torres, Academy Warriors, and most northern clubs. Well, this time around, he has been hired to lead Barrow FC in the top flight league come when the season will start by August. Remember, Barrow FC were promoted from the lower division to the top flight. This is going to be their first stint in the top flight. That's why I think they have to hire an experienced tactician to lead them. So we'll be seeing a very tactical football from Barrow FC. Remember yesterday I told you that Kanu Pillars also hired the service of Evans going as their new technical advice. I think something is happening in Kanu this period. Kanu has 2 clubs now in the top flight. That means they have Kanu Pillars and they have Barrow FC. So for Aladan Bosu, he'll be working alongside with the chief coach Rabiu Tafa, who played a key role in guiding Barrow FC to the top flight promotion. And then for Tafa, he's delighted, according to his message on his X handle. He said he's happy to have this experienced tactician, talking about Aladan Bosu to Barrow FC. So these 2 experienced tacticians will be working together to see. We might be seeing an offset come next season. Remember, when we start from nowhere, they are the defending champions, like what we saw in 2020, 2022, when Mountain of Fire came from nowhere and finished second on the season, on the table. Now this time, Barrow FC, a privately owned club, is also coming up to show an offset with these 2 experienced tacticians they've hired. I think we are going to see interesting games when the season starts by next month. Now let's go to Abia. Abia is in the news again, and it's all about school sports. Yesterday, this news dropped that over 1,000 student athletes will be competing in all Abia secondary school games. This is what we've been preaching. You know, from here where we are broadcasting from, that's Enugu, we've been talking about it, crusading it about school sports. You cannot have continuity in talent provision when school sports is not activated. So Abia State is doing something about it. This is their 2nd edition, and according to the commissioner, Sir Udilo Ananaba, he said this is for youth development and to also harness new talent. It's paying off. In fact, he told pressmen yesterday that some of the talent discovered in the maiden edition in 2024, some of them have been invited to Hungary, and most of the talents also are part of the Team Nigeria traveling to Algeria. In fact, they've traveled yesterday for the maiden edition of All African School Sports that is taking place in Algeria. So I think it's paying off for them, and you can imagine 1,000 student athletes competing. It's going to be taking place at Abia Township Stadium, and the good news is that the governor, Alex Oti, according to the commissioner, said that every food, the accommodation, they are all free. So schools don't have to worry about the food for their students. They don't have to worry about the accommodation. The state government is providing every logistics free of charge for these guys, which I think is a very wonderful innovation, coming from Abia State. Now, how did they come about the state championship? According to the commissioner, he said these are champions from the 17 local government areas, which means that this game, as the process have already started before, from at the local government stage, and they've selected the best legs, the best hands, to represent the local government at the state level. So Abia is, I wouldn't be surprised that even in the upcoming youth games that will be taking place later this year in Asaba, that they might be coming first or winning all the medals on the table. So, but let's see how it pans out for Abia people. Now, away from that, still on school sports, the contingents, Nigeria contingents, left Nigeria yesterday for Algeria, where the maiden edition of all school sports, African school sports, will be taking place. This is the first time it's happening. When we spoke with the National Sports Commission Director General Lopadi, You know, when he was saying that, I thought it was a joke. When did Nigeria actually prepared, you know, to have their own contingent? But this time around, they left yesterday, and according to Olapade said the president of Nigeria, Bola Ahmed Tinubu, has already mapped out the logistics to make sure that these young lads have a very wonderful and comfortable stay in Nigeria. So we are hoping to see these guys come back with a lot of medals. They have 6 games they will be participating in: basketball, taekwondo, football, and tennis, and also table tennis, which is also a very wonderful outing games for Nigeria. This is the maiden edition. I know every state will start taking it very serious to activate the secondary school games across the country. Now, away from there, let's talk about the African Women's Nations Cup. Nigerian Super Falcons will be in action on Sunday because I will not see it tomorrow, so I just have to bring you up to speed on that. Nigerian Super Falcons will be in action on Sunday against Morocco in the finals of that competition. Morocco is hosting it, and I know the 12th man will also be a factor there in Casablanca when the final is going to take place. But before Sunday, the third place match will be happening later today. And it's going to be between Ghana. Ghana will be playing today with South Africa, which is also a very strong game. It's a tactical game. Remember, South Africa last tournament in 2022 finished as defending champions, and I know they wouldn't want to go back to South Africa without any laurel. So bronze is waiting for South Africa or Ghana later today. 5 p.m. is the time, so if you have time, make sure you tune up and see a beautiful game taking place in Casablanca. Then on Sunday, let's watch what will take place. Then still on women football, on Sunday also, Euro women football finals will be taking place, and it's going to be between England and Spain. Remember, yesterday we brought you up to speed that Spain qualified for the finals after beating Germany 1-0. So we'll be seeing a repeat of what took place in 2023, even though Spain lost that finals. But this time around, everybody has predicted that it's going to be take pound of flesh, like a kind of revenge game for the Spanish team. Remember, the world best player in women's category is also part of Spain's squad, so which means she might be performing her magic. Remember what she did against Germany, scoring very late in Turkish time, to give Spain the required victory. So let's see how it pans out on Sunday. So your guess is as good as mine. That Sunday is going to be a very action-packed Sunday when it comes to football. Then finally, on a very sad note, I don't know lovers of wrestling who are listening. Hulk Hogan, a lot of people think Hulk Hogan doesn't have a real name. It's not his real name. His real name is Terry. I love that guy. Growing up, even in school, we used to,
everybody will
So Hulk Hogan has died at age 71 in his Florida house, and unfortunately, the report of what caused his death has been released. They said it's cardiac arrest. Well, a kind of a rumor, started since 2 weeks ago that he died, and the wife denied it all of a sudden. So the rumor has come true.
Definitely.
Has really come true. So for Hogan, I think he left a lot of wealth for the family.
Definitely, yeah.
According to reports, he worth $21.6 million US. I can imagine why somebody will leave such amount of money and die. When he was born, he wasn't born with money.
Exactly.
So he has to die without money. Even if he's being buried with the money, what is he going to the spirit world to do with money?
What will he buy?
Is he going to buy another mansion, or he'll start WrestleMania again?
Anyways, friends, before faith, everybody will start accusing me that I like money. This is the little I have for you on Sports Updates. Make sure you join me by 11:30 for more detailed sports program here on Aneke TV. Back to you, Faith and Maka.
Okay, if you ask me, the part of the sports update I enjoyed was that part where you said schools or high school,
secondary schools.
yeah, will be traveling out to Algeria for
They traveled
competition.
yesterday, actually.
That actually caught my attention. When you said it, I was like, glory be to God. At least it's not just the adults doing footballs, no. At least because I know that abroad in the Western countries, they support secondary school football a lot. Football, basketball, and every sport. They just make sure that the children have something to do, especially when it's sports. They put their all into sport. So you even said the president himself even approved of it. I say this is a step in the right direction.
I think it's actually a very big one, and I have to give it up to Abia State.
Yeah.
They have like 3, delegates from there, representatives from there. It has paid off their secondary school games. They started in 2024, and you can imagine they have one talent they discovered in Barcelona now.
Wow.
They also have a local coach undergoing a local training. Sorry, not a local training, actually international training in Barcelona, which is also a very sound one.
This is exactly what should be done, because let's recycle our players.
Is it recycling or give them what they call easy transition? While the old ones are going, the young ones are coming up. It's just like what we have in tennis. Every day I continue shouting. If you tune your tennis reports or start reading the reports in tennis, if you don't hear about Aruna Harukadiri, you hear about Oshonaike, no new names. But thank God, with what Enugu State did just last month, organizing secondary school table tennis. Now we have new talents. One guy from Command Secondary School that came first, and I'm sure this guy will be representing Enugu in all youth games in Asaba. This is another talent, and if he does well, that means this guy will go to national level. So the school sports is not a mistake. I don't know why he stopped, because I know growing up, every day we would converge at Nnamdi Azikiwe Stadium.
Different competitions everywhere.
Yes.
Different
For federal
competitions.
colleges, we had like FedCo, we had ANC FedCo. We traveled, for sports. So I don't know why it stopped really.
So I believe they've started it. The Algeria maiden edition is going to be an eye-opener. When Enugu people, maybe if they come without medals, then they will come and ask themselves, what will happen? Enugu will pick from Abia. Everyone will pick from Abia. Imo will pick from Abia. Anambra will pick from Abia. Other states, and there will be a revival of sports. Because whether we like it or not, sports is the biggest industry in the world. It's giving money. You don't need everybody to start doing.
These parents who give birth to children, and the first thing they buy for their child, for their baby, is football.
Do you know? I was surprised the other time. I saw some parents bringing their kids to Rangers training camp. And now parents are bringing their kids to the field. Before, if you go to the field to play, come back house.
And we are still right here on Sunrise on Aneke TV, and we'll be looking at some daily headlines today. Today we'll be looking at the Punch newspapers and the Daily Trust newspaper. So on the Punch newspaper, the banner headline there says, APC PDP set stage for epic 2027 face-off. APC PDP set stage for epic 2027 face-off. I love this headline. I don't know why. Looking at it, when I saw it, I said, this is going to be a serious head-to-head thing. This is a real face-off. because you can imagine the whole defection going on in both parties, from APC to PDP, from PDP to APC, then the ones running to ADC are running to ADC, and I'm like, okay, everybody just sit down and grab a cup of coffee. Let's just sit and watch what is going to happen in 2077, because trust me, I can't wait.
You know, in Nigeria, we count new elections.
Yes.
New election period. We try to hype it. And the process have already started, because just yesterday we saw APC elect a new national chairman.
Of course.
You know, a minister, a minister, but I think he's going to resign also. A professor. And he has a lot of experience from the North Central.
Yeah.
So I think from that divide is going to be attracting a lot of emotional sentiments, you know, from the North Central. And this has shown that there is a very big divide from in the Northeast.
Okay.
They are losing it in the Northeast. And for PDP, their house is still in disarray. We've seen a lot of defection from PDP to APC. Most of the senators have left PDP to APC. One of the biggest financier, Atiku, also he has resigned from PDP. And you still have one man, I don't know how to describe him, one leg here, one leg there. Listen, wicked. You know, I don't know whether he's still a PDP member or APC member. In my own opinion, I like saying it, in my own opinion, I think PDP is now an offshoot of APC, because the power controlling PDP, most of them are dominant in APC. For example, Wike, it was Wike that made sure that Anyanwu, the foreign secretary, was brought back.
Yes.
So I think they still have control over PDP, and I don't know why they are projecting PDP. I think there should be this fight should be between APC and ADC. Even in the Southeast stakeholders, they said if PDP don't take their time, they are going to leave. So which means they're already contemplating to leave. You can imagine a particular region leaving. Now in the South. In the South, the only state that is remaining in the South is Bayelsa. Akwa Ibom, Delta, Edo, they are all in APC. So you can imagine a full region. And now, if Southeast already, Ebonyi State is in APC,
yeah.
So we just have Imo is in APC. So the only PDP state in Southeast is just Enugu.
Wonderful.
Just Enugu. So the APC, they still have the opportunities to still retain power at the national level. But let's see how it pans out. I know the oppositions, they are converging, and
it's really going to be a strong one.
Some kind of compromise, you know, and some sacrifice will be done for a particular candidate, you know, to emerge and fight the ruling party.
Well, let's just keep our fingers crossed and see what 2027 has in store for Nigerians, because trust me, we can't wait. So still on the Punch newspaper, let's look at some of the rider headlines we have there. One of the riders says, states slashing power tariff must pay subsidy. States slashing power tariff must pay subsidy, and based on the fact that the Enugu state government has decided to slash the band A tariff from I think 209 naira per kilowatt to 160. So there has been so I think the National Electricity Regulatory Commission is against it. They feel that the state's electricity distribution has no jurisdiction to slash that, and I don't know why. I don't know if they are enjoying the fact that people pay a lot of money to subscribe electricity, and then the tariff is just cutting necks.
I'm yet to understand this fight, because they've given states autonomy.
Of course.
Enugu state now have their own electricity regulatory body. So, and then if they've checked their finance, they've audited their sheets and find out that these guys are paying more, we need to reduce tariff.
Yes.
It might be a kind of social welfare for the citizens. I don't know why the national body will be having qualms with them. For me, they should leave them. I'm telling them to pay subsidy. What you guys should do is, if the amount of power they are getting, because they are not producing power actually, they are not producing energy. What they do is they buy energy and come and sell. The discos here are just marketers, So if they say somebody bought at the price of 30 naira and come back to sell 10 naira, it's not a business. It's not your business.
Because at this point it belongs to you.
Yeah, it's not your business. So I think this issue of tariff, we're even begging they should bring it down more. Yes, they should bring it down.
Yes,
they should bring it down.
The ones to see is even still high.
It's still high.
It's still high, but it's
off.
Thank you. Yeah.
They shouldn't be bothered. Like, why would you want to see Nigerians suffer? You want to see everybody suffer.
You want to see Nigerians suffer and then see their pockets enlarged.
It's crazy, and I don't know. I don't understand the fight, just like Gideon rightly said. So they should just help us take it down below 100, then we'll be okay.
I think we should be looking forward for an electricity professional, to come educate us on this fight. Because
definitely,
for me, I've tried, I've made inquiries, I've asked questions, and nobody's
saying something.
Really put me, tell me what is really happening. How can a state that has autonomy, a regulatory agency, be having problem with the national level or what they will charge as tariff? I don't think it's their business. So if they have any other thing there, because even when you read the papers, it's still the same.
They haven't really said what their problem is, but one day we are going to find out. So looking at the last rider headline on the Punch newspaper before we move over to Daily Trust newspaper, this one says 14 villagers, policeman killed in Plateau attacks. 14 villagers, policeman killed in Plateau attacks. This is still what we have been crying. This is one story we see on our newspaper headlines on a daily basis. Every day there is always an attack somewhere. If it's not in Benue State, it's in Plateau State. If it's not in Plateau, it's in Borno. How actually are we when? Let me ask this question: when will this stop? When will it come to an end? What are the authorities doing to curb this particular situation? Because women and children are dying.
I'm actually very surprised. North Central produced majority of our security personnel.
Yes.
If you go to the army, if you go to the police, you see North Central citizens. And this is the same place where they are ravaging their communities, ravaging their villages. Sometime earlier this year, Tinubu went to Jos Plateau, and he declared a state of emergency on security. Yeah. He told the IG to relocate to Plateau, told the chief of army staff to relocate to Plateau.
Okay.
And we are still seeing the same thing.
The thing is, they say charity begins at home. So before we actually climb up the ladder to the top men up there, what's the governor of each state doing about the state of security problems in each state?
That's why some of them are clamoring for state policing. For state police, which the federal government, they've not given clearance, and it has to pass through normal process of National House of Assembly, so that it's going to be made a law. The Southwest, what they did was they go out of their way to form Omoteku. And since then, I think some kind of peace, has been restored there. So I think the North Central should do the same. The North Central should do so. Fortunately, when that happened in Southeast, those the ESN were prescribed. So, but we have our forest guard now in Southeast. Yeah. So, and the president, the national President Bola Ahmed Tinubu has approved it to be a national agency. So, they should take advantage of the forest guard.
Adopt it.
Yes, the plateau, the Benue, they should take advantage of the forest guard and make sure there is peace. My anger, or rather my wariness about it is that these are places that produce food. In Jos, you can't go to Jos and not eat good tomato.
Yes.
Good carrots, good fruits.
Their fruits in general are so good. Like their own is different.
Those days, Jos was seen as a caveat of Europe because snow falls in Jos.
Yes.
Very cold region, wonderful town. If you go there, you see white people.
Yes.
But
then not anymore.
That's something. That's why I use the words. So if you go there, there is food, there is fruit. Now, for you to buy fruit in Enugu now, I don't know any other state, you have to be a rich person. You have to. You can't buy watermelon.
No, you can't.
You can't even buy banana. I want to buy a bunch of small bunch of banana.
Banana has become an exotic fruit.
Yeah, very exotic. So if you see one bunch of banana that used to buy 700, 800, now it's almost 2,000-3,000.
About 3,000-4,000.
About 3,000-4,000. So that's why I'm worried about all these misgivings or happening in Plateau and Benue. Something must be done.
Yes.
Or they've not told us whether there is something they want to happen in Nigeria, because these are tactical places, Benue and Plateau. First of all, they've attacked the northeast, where we get our groundnut, our cereals. Now we are no longer getting them. In fact, do you know that before you can buy a car of 300,000, now you cannot. If you want to buy cars,
you should just be like from 700,000.
700 cars is even a child car. It's a baby car. If you want to buy car for us in this ceremony now, you're keeping like 1,900,000, 1 million. So this is the effect of what happened in the northeast, and now this is happening in Benue, and it's also happening
it's just coming out.
No, these are targeted areas. They are targeted areas that will make Nigeria to starve. Nigerians to starve. And if care is not taken, check out what is happening now. Every year, every day is getting worse.
At this point, Mr. Gideon doesn't even. I can see that you're even tired of talking.
No, I really feel that something needs to be done internally before we start calling on the president and all that. They should try to adopt, a working tactics for this northern part. The governors are practically just silent about these killings.
Definitely.
We're waiting and we're all, placing our eyes on the president.
And the silence is making it look like there is a laid out plan somewhere somehow.
Like there is actually.
Well, let that be for our listeners to tell us in the comment section. We're on Facebook, we're on Instagram, we're on X, and of course here on YouTube, all at Aneke TV. Tell us what you think right here on the newspaper review segment. So moving over to the Daily Trust newspaper, let's check some of the headlines there. The banner headline there says Tinubu marginalizing North in resources allocation. That's from.
I can imagine that.
Tinubu marginalizing North in resources allocation. That's from Kwakwa. So, Mr. Gideon, that your laughter was like, should I not?
I just have to. I don't know where Kwankwaso is coming from. It's political time. This is 2005.
Exactly.
He just have just 2 years, 1 year.
So everybody is just trying to say what they can.
Anything that you can say or do to convince or manipulate the minds of people, Nigerian citizens.
This is the time to do it.
They have a way of doing it.
Yeah.
You can't tell me that Tinubu is marginalizing
Northern allocation.
Just the last 10 appointments, they were all Northerners. Even at the time, one appointment given to Babangida's son, which he refused. Almost all the appointments came from the North, appointees. So I don't know so is bringing it. It's a game plan for them.
Definitely, it's just a game. You know, it's a game of politics. So let's check out the other headlines. The next one says, women, babies among passengers killed in fresh plateau attack. And this is what we said just a few minutes ago.
So
women, babies among passengers killed in fresh plateau attack. The next one says, why APC settled for Netare as party chair. And the last one I have here, though there are the others, but we'll just take the few we can. Why PDP moved convention from Kano to Oyo. So just in case you want to get the full details of these stories or these headlines, you can check these papers online or grab a copy from your newsstand. And that's all we have for you today on our newspaper review segment. We'll go on a short break and we'll come back for Faith's most interesting part of the show this morning, of the breakfast show, right here on Aneke TV. We'll be back.
You're still tuned in to Sunrise on Aneke TV, and as you know, this is my most favorite part of the program. Here we talk about what the world is marking or celebrating today. Let's see what's on today's calendar, Friday 25, 2025. Today the world celebrates Culinary Day, Culinarian Day. Amaka, this is about food. This is about appreciating the experience that we have in meals. Culinarian Day is a fun and meaningful celebration held every year on July 25 to honor the people behind the food we enjoy. The chefs, the cooks, the kitchen staff, bakers, and culinary creatives of all kinds. If you know me well, you know that I like food.
I love food too. I'm looking at the screen and I'm telling you.
Oh my god! Oh my god! And you know, across the world, we have different dishes. We have our regular Nigerian meals.
Yeah.
Intercontinental dishes as well. So food is a beautiful, beautiful thing. The term culinarian isn't just about fancy titles, you know. It actually refers to anyone who prepares food with skill and intention. Whether they are in a five-star restaurant, maybe street food stalls, or home kitchens, the day is all about recognizing the art, the science, and soul of cooking, as well as the dedication that they actually put into, preparing and coining together some ingredients into nourishment and joy.
Yeah.
But I had to use, the whole joy terms. The whole the food experience is beautiful. I'm not talking about concussion rice here.
No. It has
I'm
to
talking
be.
about taking your time to chop onions, to marinate your beef or your chicken, to actually deep fry this. I'm already salivating now.
Don't make me think. You make me go home now to cook.
And this day is also a reminder that cooking is a craft.
Mm-hmm.
This is passed down through generations, refined with love, and often done quietly behind the scenes.
Definitely.
Usually the kitchen is like, some people's private moments where they actually express themselves. Some people enjoy cooking.
Some people actually see it as therapeutic. Some people just cook because, or there are some people who when they are angry or they are feeling down, they just go into the kitchen to cook something.
And the food will be mad.
Very, very.
Gideon, what about you? Gideon, do you like food at all? Gideon doesn't eat. I've never seen Gideon eat,
Oh my God, I eat. I love going to the kitchen too.
So what's your favorite food?
Local dish.
What kind?
I love okra.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
I love okra. I love vegetables a lot.
Mm-hmm.
And then I'm just good in local dish.
And can you cook?
That's nice.
Yes. I love going to the kitchen.
Aww.
Very
I love preparing my food.
Okay, let me give you this very unique tip when cooking okra.
Right.
We're just used to the whole dicing okra, maybe in bold shapes or probably tinier chops. Have you ever tried to blend your okra?
Lord have mercy. Don't even go there.
The taste is different.
Honestly.
Instead of chopping like a large portion of it, just chop some, maybe bold or probably like a little tinier.
And you blend the
Blend
rest.
the rest. So instead of adding the thickener, maybe ogbono,
Oh, yeah.
so add that blended okra.
It makes it very thick.
Gideon, you send me money, don't worry.
Oh my God.
Okay, so how this day is observed, how to observe the culinarian day. The first thing here is appreciate a chef or a cook, whether it's your favorite restaurant, the chef, or your mom who cooks for you a lot, or your favorite school canteen. Just take a moment to thank those people cooking behind the scenes. A heartfelt message, a small gift, or even a social media shout out goes a long way. Your favorite restaurants here. I have a favorite restaurant in Enugu. I like to eat their, what's it called? It's a special kind of rice, but then it's seafood rice. It's like white fish in it.
Okay.
There are different assorted seafood
Whoa.
animals in it.
That'll be expensive.
Oh my God, that is lovely. Let's not. When you're talking about money, anything that goes into your stomach is not expensive. to you.
No.
It's not a waste of
Don't even think about the money when it comes to your stomach. Very
You
important.
understand? So let's not even talk about the price now. Let's go for the experience.
Yeah,
Let's go
sure.
for the joy that will derive eating the food.
Yeah.
So another thing is cook something special today. Thank God it's Friday. Thank God it's the weekend. So go to the market. You should try this okra recipe I gave you. So cook something special today. Even if it's not something professional, you can honor the spirit of the day by preparing a meal with care. Please don't rush it. Take your time and get into the vibe of appreciating all the experiences that come with preparing ingredients and actually
Definitely.
pointing everything together. Also share some culinary moments as well. Post a photo of a dish you made or a meal you've enjoyed. Use hashtags like Culinarian Day, Thank a Chef, or Foods Love to join the global conversation. All of these hashtags are actually trending on social media right now. So if you're a lover of meals, you could actually cook something and use either of the hashtags I mentioned. Also, you could spotlight local talent. If you're a content creator or a presenter, feature a local chef or a food vendor. Ask them what inspired their cooking journey and highlight their favorite dish. This is something we should do on Aneke TV as well. And another thing that you could do is read about culinary history. watch a cooking documentary, or learn a new kitchen technique. It's a great day to expand your food knowledge, learn something entirely new. And culinarians don't just feed us. That's another thing that we need to know. They actually heal, they comfort, and they connect us. Do you ever feel so down? It's something I do. It's therapy for me. If I feel very down, I feel overwhelmed, I look for a spot and I go there.
And
so that's why I like to do the whole Vibes with Faith Twins thing as well. So whether it's jollof rice, egusi soup, or some cup of tea, let today be about the hands that made it. And that's it for the Culinarian Day celebration today. Amaka, is there any other interesting celebration on the calendar today?
Of course, but before I wanted to call a name before I start, but I was like, okay, let me just leave that name first. Today is a System Administrator Appreciation Day. System Administrator Appreciation Day. And when we talk about system administrators, we're talking about IT specialists. They are also called sysadmins, right? And these are IT specialists that are tasked with making sure computer systems are working properly. And among their many jobs, they get servers and the operating systems up and running. They also make sure network connections are safe and working. They fix the email if it goes down and update antivirus software. They are often on call addressing technology issues at all times of the day and night. So these people are always up and doing to make sure that the systems are up and running every day. So on this day, they are giving gifts and public acknowledgement to show that their hard work and dedication are appreciated. So today, our system administrator at the office today, we want to say a big thank you for making sure we come here live every morning. So our system administrator today, in fact, has always been Emmanuel right here. Emmanuel is smiling so much. So we want to appreciate you. Thank you for making sure we are always here. Wow, Mr. Oluchi, yes, today, Mr. Phillips, Mr. Okedele, thank you all. You guys are doing a great job. So we want all you guys that will love you, we celebrate you, and keep doing what you're doing. So that's all we have for you today on the celebration.
So whether you're cooking or writing, reflecting, or messaging or appreciating the administrators of your place of work today, it's a day to celebrate dedication and connection. And that's it on our lively Friday edition of Sunrise on Aneke TV. Thanks for spending your morning with us.
And we'll return on Monday with more stories, more laughter, and yes, more of everything you need to have a good morning start. Until then, stay kind, stay curious, and always carry an umbrella. You can also follow us on all our social media platforms, on Facebook, on X, on Instagram, and right here on YouTube, all at Aneke TV. My name is Amaka. See you next week, Monday. Bye.
Today we'll be looking at governance in Enugu State. Because by May 29th, the current administration will be marking their 2-year in office. But let me just give a brief rundown, then we can take it off from there. Governance is the process and structure by which decisions are made and enforced within an organization or society. This is according to AI overview. Therefore, every government is adjudged to be carrying out good governance when they have been able to transform their thoughts, especially their campaign promises and decisions, into realities that will benefit the masses. In this exclusive interview with Barrister Nenna, a public affairs analyst, we assess the efforts of the current administration in the state to improve the life of the Enugu within these 2 years. Barrister, first you have to introduce yourself properly with your correct portfolios so that we can take it off from there.
Okay, thank you so much, my dear. I was waiting to hear your name too, so you haven't introduced yourself.
All right, that will be done,
okay,
right?
Okay, so my name is Nenna Nozie. I'm a legal practitioner based here in Enugu State, and also, like you rightly say, the public affairs analyst. The founder of Nenna Nozie Foundation. I also work as the National Director of Programs, League of Women Voters of Nigeria. I am currently the Financial Secretary of African Women Lawyers Association, and in the state I'm the Deputy Coordinator of African Women Lawyers Association, among so many other things I do. So thank you so much for having me. It's always a pleasure being here wherever I am called upon to speak.
Wow, thank you so much. Yes, I remain Chinwendo Ifeonwankwo, Aneke TV reporter, presenter. Thank you. Stay tuned. You're welcome. Okay, on today's show, just as we have just run down the brief of what we'll be looking at, I would like you to give us an overview. What do you think? How do you feel assessing this current government for these 2 years? Are you satisfied?
Thank you so much. Ndi Enugu, I greet you, and of course, like I said, I'm in Enugu. I'm from Enugu. I've been in Enugu. Even if I travel, I just travel and come back. Like I was away for African Women's Summit in Egypt, Cairo, just last week, and I'm back. So Enugu Bunka, Enugu Bunka.
Yes.
So the truth is that even the blind can see what is happening in Enugu. The deaf can hear what is happening in Enugu. Peter Mba's administration for these past 2 years, if you ask me, hasn't been bad. Yes, I'm speaking objectively now. It hasn't been bad because we are seeing some development, some infrastructural development, the road. In fact, I was telling my boy as we were coming here that our governor now, that what that means is that it's like he's a voracious worker. You know, the way people eat food voraciously. So that is how he's actually working in Enugu. Last 2 weeks, on the 8th and 9th, I had a program at the International Conference Center. And I mean, you need to be there. It's amazing. So for those of us who have been here for the past how many years, and we are seeing what we are seeing today, I'm seeing a lot of transformation. When I passed through the presidential hotel, I've been there when it was presidential hotel, I've lodged there. So whenever I pass through there and I see it in that dilapidated form, I mean, I weep for a place I have been and I've enjoyed some, you know, beautiful things there. So going back now and seeing how that place is being rebuilt, and I mean, it gives me joy. So I give it to him. Kudos to our governor. So far, so good. These 2 years, he hasn't done so badly. But of course, maybe in the course of the of the interview, we can delve into more things. But the truth is that he hasn't done so badly for these 2 years. We've seen road infrastructure there's water in some places, even though he had said in 180 days water will be everywhere. It's not everywhere. Water is not yet everywhere in Enugu State, but at least they have started. Then when you come to the issue of beautification of Enugu State, I mean, when you, especially within the rural and the urban areas, you can see that a lot of things are, a lot of things is really going on well. I just saw the terminal at Gariki that's about to be launched, and I'm like, wow, this is wonderful. And recently I was told that they were trying to recruit workers, drivers and etiquetters for, what do they call it, these CNG buses. So these are the things I believe will help alleviate the economic hardship and the ugly situation of citizens of Nigeria who are in the Enugu. So I think so far so good. A lot of infrastructural development, road, we are going here, there's road construction everywhere going on, both in the rural and urban areas. So I give it to him for now. I give it to him. We are not saying he's 100% perfect. We are not saying everything is now okay, because we have not delved into areas of employment, job opportunities for, especially for our teeming youth, the young ones. So we'll still go into that. Women inclusion. Of course, I can't talk about it. I'm sure even the cameraman will know that there's no way I can finish speaking here without talking about women inclusion in governance, because it's part of your nation cannot develop when your women are relegated to the background. So we'll talk about that to examine how far he has also fed in inclusion and all of that. So let me not preempt your questions.
Thank you very much.
You've
really done a wonderful overview. This is more than a brief. You've really touched every area. But having touched this area, so it will not be like a repetition. Yes. Let's continue. In the course of your briefing us on thus far, he has fed. You pointed water, and I know that it's part of his campaign promises.
Yes.
Because Enugu, if you are actually an Enugu person, whether born and bred, whether an indigenous, you know that one issue we have here is water. Yeah. And he assured us while he was campaigning that water will actually flow. And let me not go in. So what can you say about that?
So
take it from there.
Well, thank you so much. Like in as much as I've given him a lot of kudos to what he has been doing and has continued to do, we are seeing it, we are telling him well done. But of course, they will say promise is a promise. He came with that full force. There was this boldness. I looked at him and watched him say it, that we should just give him 180 days. Water will flow everywhere. So I was optimistic. I was looking forward to it. But as you can see and I can see, water is not flowing everywhere in Enugu State. So what does that tell you? I'm not saying they're not making efforts. They're making effort. I am aware that there are some areas that now have water. But the truth is that the speed is very small. It's very slow. So they need to speed it up. 180 days, of course, it's been far gone. We are not holding him on that again, but at least we want him to prioritize this issue of water, because we can't continue to pay the kind of tax we pay in Enugu State, the kind of rent people pay in Enugu State, the cost of living in Enugu State, and you not have water. Water is life. What can we do? When you say you live in a township, it's expected you have access to water, good water, road and electricity. So these are the things that make up a city. If you say we are living in an urban area in a city, we should enjoy water, we should enjoy light, and of course good roads. So our governor is doing well, especially in the area of constructing of road, every other infrastructural development. But let us have water. We need to let him know that water is not flowing in all the urban areas. He should do something about it. Very, very. It's an urgent call. It's an urgent call.
This time we'll be looking at a transportation system or services. The CNG buses, soon they will be launched, and going by what we are seeing in those states, of course we know that they will be plying the major routes in those states. So what is the fate of these commuters, the kekes and all these small buses that have been plying, that have been on the road before their entrance? Yes. So let me not put words into your mouth.
Okay,
Please take it up
I
from
wanted
there.
to ask if they will not go out of business. And
What
all
will
of
be
that.
their
No,
fate?
of course, we need development. And the truth is that our people are suffering. They need a relief. So if the coming of the CNG buses will give them relief, it should be a welcome development, irrespective of the fact that maybe, I remember in the time of, I think in the administration of Sullivan Chile, we had what we call the Sullivan's taxi, Sullivan's buses and all of that. It didn't stop others from plying the road. There are still some people who have money to enter. I want to believe that the CNG buses will be for the low-income earners, people who can't afford those regular ones, so they can use that. It's just to make life easier and better for the poor masses, for the common man. All right, just like talking about housing, which is another area that the government has not even looked into, where you need to see how we can decongest the city by expanding and building houses. It will also help in making sure that these landlords and the agents who hike the prices of rent, who do anything they like to innocent citizens in the name of agents and landlords, will stop. And the government cannot say, oh, because if we now build houses, landlords will not have people who will patronize them, therefore let us not build houses. No, houses should be built for the low-income earners so that they can have access to shelter. The same thing on transportation. We can have as low as if ordinary keke, the regular kekes and other buses are collecting, let's say, 200 naira from Gariki to New Market. The CNG buses can collect 100 or 50, and that it is acceptable in every world, even in other developed countries. You see that everybody, all hands are not equal. There are still people who queue and wait for train, while others use taxi. While others, in fact, the country I went to last 2 or 3 weeks, I discovered that if you want to be using their taxi, you pay so much. So I used Uber. It was cheaper.
Okay.
Then some places I used their metro because it was cheaper. So you look for the one that will be very, very cheaper for you.
And convenient.
And convenient for you. Even if it's not convenient but it's cheaper. You go for it, because that is what I believe, that is the vision or the mindset or the motive behind the CNG bus. It will consume less. What does he use now? Gas. Yes, and then of course the price will be far cheaper than that of the regular buses and kekes. So we cannot, government cannot stop bringing initiatives because of the people. Just like when we are talking about water, they say, oh, what will happen to tanker drivers? So because of tanker drivers will remain in perpetual darkness? No, that is not fair at all. It is the citizens that should be prioritized, their benefits, their joy, their comfort, because we are practicing democracy, which is government of the people, for the people, and by the people. So it is a people-centered policy that should come first, not what whoever is gaining or losing from
shouldn't
wherever.
Be a selfish interest thing.
Shouldn't.
Okay, thank you very much. You really addressed it, because at a point I started seeing fears. I said, who knows what will become the fate of these people if these buses are everywhere and the rest of it. Okay, thank you for addressing it that way. Please, can you quickly, before our time will be off, say something on agriculture? What is government doing? Is the government there? What are they doing? What extent?
Okay, so I'm aware that, because I also work in the civil society organization, I'm aware that there are some efforts of the government towards that area. I saw some tractors the other time, and some other initiatives of the government to see that agriculture is brought to the fore for the people. But my worry is that I don't think it's enough, because the truth is that the future is agriculture. We cannot do without food. We need to encourage our young ones. It will boost our economy, it will boost employment, and give access to more food. Because food crisis, I mean, go to the market to see what is happening. And with the current kidnapping and all of these things going on in the farm, people are scared to work. So you can't be talking about agriculture without talking about security, without talking about the right equipment to help, because we can't continue to depend on our little no, we've gone past that. Our governor said he wants to have a smart city. Time will fail us to talk about education. The smart education was in one of the communities in Enugu, Mburumbu, precisely on Saturday. That saw the beautiful smart school there. So he has that good vision for Enugu, for Ndi Enugu. But what we want to know is, how will all of these things be? Will you have enough time? And then your successors, will they be able to continue? What's your sustainability plans for all of this? So the area of agriculture is something that they should take seriously. The Commissioner for Agriculture should work with these young people. Now they are talking about smart farming, where you can use bags and sacks to farm. So not having land is not an issue. But of course, can we still continue to be using hoe and machete? How much can we get? So we are talking about cultivating, and the agriculture is so much. It's not just even farming. We have animal husbandry and all of this. So let us invest more. I want to encourage our governor to invest more in agriculture. It will help us greatly. It will give employment to our youth. It will help also increase the IGR that he says he wants to increase, because we'll be getting enough food. We can even export and all of that. People will come here to buy food from us, and I mean, it will just go so well for Ndi Enugu.
Wow, it's been a nice time meeting you and chatting with you.
Thank you.
Hello viewer, thank you. It is on this very note we'll be drawing the curtain. Remember, it's been Aneke TV, and with me in the show has been Barrister Nena Anoze, a public affairs analyst. The CV is so long, so let me stop here. And she's been a wonderful and intelligent woman, and we'll be glad to have you next time. It's still me, Chinwendo Ifeonwankwo. Thanks for watching.
Ekene gị daalụ maka isonyela anyị ọkwa n'oge nzukọ ụmụ nwaanyị na Aneke TV. Ka anyị karịkwa ọzọ, ka anyị kparịa dịka anyị si eme, maka na ihe anyị na-eme bụkwa ka anyị tụnye alụ n'isi okwu ahụ ọ na-abụ ọ bụ na ụmụ nwaanyị agba nkịtị, ọ dịka ihe na-emebi n'obodo. Maka nne ga-afụ kwuo tie mkpu dị na ya, mana nna ga-afụ o mechalụ no mechie ọnụ, ọ dịka ihe eji wee mara ụmụ nwaanyị buso okwu. Ihe eji mara anyị buso okwu ka anyị na-ekwu ka o wee dị mma, maka na ọ na-abụ anyị kwuche, ọ bụ na etinye n'ọrụ ọ na-adaba, ọ na-eme ka ihe dị mma. Abụ m Ngozi Ọtahumele. Na nke taa, ihe anyị na-eji nleba anya bụ ọzụzụ ụmụ anyị n'ụdị ọzọ, akachacha n'ejiji a na-eji kịta. Ọ bụrụ ndị oyibo sị gị na dressing, indecent dressing. ọ gịnị kpatara ụdị ejiji anyị na-afụ ebe ụmụ anyị nọ kịta? Ọ na anyị bụ ndị nna ada alụ ọrụ ka ọ na anyị bụ ndị nna anyị ada alụ ọrụ ka ọ n'obodo ada alụ ọrụ? Naanị ihe ị ga-eme bụ nọla ana sonyela anyị mgbe anyị ga-akpacha nkata. Ị ga-eme ebe anyị na-aga. Ọ bụrụ na naanị m na-eji itinye ọnụ n'okwu, ndị mụ na ha na-eji itinye ọnụ n'okwu wee bụrụ ndị ọ na-abụ mkpọ mgbe ọbụla aza m, ndị League of Women Voters of Nigeria, nke onye ndu ha n'Enugu steeti bụ Barrister Sylvia Abana. Onye asonyela anyị na nke izu ọzọkwa. Barrister, anyị na-asị gị nnọọ na nke tata.
Onye isi oche ndewo, daalụ rinne.
Onye ọzọ anyị na ya sokwe wee na-eji itinye ọnụ n'okwu wee bụrụkwa Precious Igwegbe, ọkwa ndị League of Women Voters, ndị na-achụ maka ọdịmma ụmụ nwaanyị. Precious, anyị na-asị gị nnọọ na nke taa. M ga-ebido ebe ị nọ, Barrister Sylvia. Dịka anyị si kwuo, ụdị ejiji anyị na-afụ ụmụ anyị na-eji, ụdị akparamagwa a na-afụ ha na-akpa, kedu ihe ọ dị ka onye a dị ihe kpatara ụdị ajọ ejiji anụnwa a na-eji? Nwoke yinye akwa ị na-ene anya ma ọ bụ nwaanyị yinye akwa oge ụfọdụ ị na-asị ma osokwe n'ezinụlọ wee pụta. Ọ gịnị kpatara ụda ala anyị na-afụ otu ụmụ anyị si eyizi akwa?
Daalụ rinne onye isi oche. Ejikwa m ihe kpatara ya, nsị gị na ha si nọ dressing nọ ihe na-trend, ọ ihe na-ewu, maka na mmasị chakwaghị na ndị nne ada ekwu okwu. Ụfọdụ na-ekwu, ụfọdụ ada ekwu, maka na ihe anyị chọpụtara n'izuzu a bụ na ụmụ anyị bụ ịzụcha ha ewela aka ha zụgharịa onwe ha. Adịmaga abịa ebe ụfọdụ na-ekwu, ụfọdụ ada ekwu, ịzụọ nke ya ọ dị mma ọ pụta na society, maka ịma ezinụlọ bụ ebe a ga-anọ zụọ nwatakịrị izizi, ịzụchazi anya ọ pụzi ya n'ime society, ya n'ime obodo ebe ndị ọzọ nọ, obidokwa exhibit be karakta anwa ezụnyere ya n'ime ya. So ndị azụrụ ọfụma pụta na-eme, ndị azụrụ ọfụma apụtakwa ha na-edisplay kwa nke ha. Anyị mana nke mmadụ ji bụrụ mmadụ bụ ajọ ihe ka a na-aka amụta ọsọ, and ajọ ihe ndị ajọ ihe na-aka influence ndị mmadụ, ndị ezigbo mmadụ, and ụmụ anyị ka ha si eme ka mmadụ si eme bụ ndị ihe ha na-anụkarị ụmụazị bụ ihe ndị oyi ha gwa ha, ihe ndị skuulu ha gwa ha, ihe ndị klasmeti ha gwa ha. Maka mgbe nne ya na-ekwu ihe nwa ya na-ekwu n'ọka ndị skuulu anyị si eme, n'ọka ndị oyi m si eme, and mgbe o togo na be gị anwa pụzi ya, o nwere ike ọbago boarding school, ụlọ na boarding school, ọ mụtakwanụ from ndị oyi anwa, ọ natazie ị na-agwụ ya na-asị ya kedụzi ka isi eme ihe, ọ bụrụ ihe a ka m kụziri gị. Ọ sị ihe n'ọka ndị skuulu anyị si eme ya, n'ọka ndị oyi anyị si eme ya, ị na-ajụzi onwe gị ajụjụ. Ọzịkwa nwa ịzụ n'ụlọ na-edisplays ya a different thing, ọ bụ na mgbe anwa ya na ndị ọzọ emix go up, ndị anwa anyere ezigbo ọzụzụ, ndị anwa analụrụ ezigbo ọzụzụ enye ha, ịghọtago. And ụmụazị being what they are, ndị oyibo na-asụ ndị oyibo si they are easily influenced by their peers. Nke gị nwa na-ekwu as nne, ịma gị na ha nọrọ na the same level, a na-afụ gị na ịbụ old school, a na-ekwu nọ ihe a na-trend, nọ ihe a na-ewu, like nke a na-ha eyi kịta abịa eyie half top, nya blouse ama ekpuchi afọ, obedo n'ebe a afọ eghelu oghe, eyizielu skirt ma ọ bụ trouser afọ eghezielu. A sị gị na ọnya na-ewu, and ilu ebe niile a na-ele akwa, ọ bụrụ so ụdị akwa anwa ka a na-ele, dịka bongo kịta ifuru na bongo anaghachitego. Ije ebe a na-ele akwa, ije n'afịa, jee na butik ma traditional ejizi akwa ma bongo kịta, ewelu ankara kwa bongo achọ tọpụ ọzọ wee yikwasị ya. So n'otu a agwakwaghị nọ nke ihe na anwa afọ ihe oghe n'ọnya nwa na-ewu, and na ọ bụ na isoro n'egwu iyiri ya ịma na isoro n'egwu. Ọ ihe ndị skuulu anyị na-eyi, ọ ihe ndị oyi anyị na-eyi, ọ ihe ndị klaasị anyị na-eyi, ihe so ya na skuulu malụ ka esi eyi. Ọ nke dị gị n'ụlọ, ọ nọ n'ụlọ ị na-agwụ ya, mana olu rakwa na skuulu ahụ.
Ọmụta ihe ọzọ. Daalụ rinne. Ka m bịa ebe ị nọ Precious, ọ dị gị ka akwa a na-akọwa onye mmadụ bụ ihe onye ahụ yi, ị na-enyi nwee ike isi from ihe oyi na onye a bụ onye dị ụtọ?
akwa na-akọwakwa ihe mmadụ na ụdị dị iche iche. Dressing sometimes and generally as inappropriate depending on the cultural or social context. Mana obi no obodo anyị wu ani Igbo anyị. O nwere ụdị ihe eji mara ndị Igbo. O nwere ụdị akwa eji mara ma nwoke ma nwaanyị kwesịrị na-eyi. Ma ụmụaka anyị na-eto eto anyị ejighị half cut ihe agwa akwa ndị ọcha. Ihe eji mara ndị ọcha mana ndị ụmụ nwaanyị mụtaziri ya amụta ma ihe onyonyo ma nke ebu n'aka wa na-akpọ fon enenecha asị mba na ọdị nke ahụ nke ka mma were na-eyi mana ihe awụ ihe eji mara anyị. O nwere omenala eji mara ndị. O nwere ụdị akwa anyị na-eyi dịka ndị
dịka barista si wee kwuo mgbe ọ na-ekwu ọ sị na ụmụaka na-emezi eketa maka na ihe ha na-ahụ ndị ọzọ na-eme. Ndị ọcha kedu onye ha na-ahụ wee na-eme nke ha ebe ọ bụ na anyị nwa na-emume ndị ọcha kedu ebe ha si amụtazi anyị ruo anya ama mụta ezigbo ihe ha na-eme ọ bụla ajọ ihe nke ha na-amụta. Ndị be anyị onye mụtago ka esi alụ ụgbọelu mana anyị na-amụta ka ha si yi akwa.
Ndị ọcha like I said n'ọbịa na omenala ndị o nwere ndị na-akwụ ya ka ihe ahụ ka isi eyi. Ndị ọcha ma nne ha ụmụaka na-ahụta nne ha ka ha na-eyi ụdị akwa ahụ. Ịbụ ọchị ya na telivishọn hụ na o nwere akwa ụfọdụ agbanyeghị na onye awụ onye nne onye ọcha o yirie dị very comfortable even yi kwuo ya ụmụ ya mana ndị nne anyị na-akụziri anyị na anyị eyichi ahụ anyị ya dịka nwa afọ Igbo do mma n'anya ọ wụghị itinye ndị ọzọ n'ọnwụnwụ. Ụmụ nwoke anyị ajọghị kwuo na eyicha trauza kama anyị ahapụ ebe ọdụ akpụtuo trauza. Ị na-asịzi nwata ugono trauza gị na ọ na-achọkwara ndapụ ọ sịghị m ọkụ esi emezie kịta. So ha na-amụta ya na especially ka nne si eme. Ịbịakwa n'obodo anyị o nkwere ụfụ ndị nne anyị na-eyikwa ihe ọnwụ na ha chọrọ iyi filkwe na ha na-eme fashion. So ụmụ ha jerukwe a na-enere ha anya maka ụmụ anyị anọ na skuul nwere ndị a na-enere anya were amụta ihe ụfọdụ a na-eme. So ọ ka mma na anyị nwewo ndị nne wụrụ ndị Igbo ya mara ebe anyị si wee mara ihe a na-anabata
maka na Igbo nwee ebe ha si.
Enwere ebe anyị si.
N'ile n'anya ebe Igbo si barista Sylvia ejiji mmadụ ji o kwesịrị igosi na omume ya na njiri ejiji ọpụta m pụọ n'ilo nwoke kpaa m aka nzi ya ozugbo ejiji o kwesịrị igosi ụdị agwa akparamagwa onye ahụ ga na-akpa.
Onye isi oche ịjụọ m ajụjụ a m ga-asị gị n'uche nke m eziokwu na anyị na-ekwu maka ejiji a mana echere m na ọ na-akọwacha mmadụ ọfụma mana mgbe ụfọdụ because of na ihe abụrụ our culture na onwe ka ndị Igbo si eji ejiji ịbịazi ya ji ejiji abụrụ ụdị ya nwa anyị nwa na-eji enebeghị anya ka onye efulefu mana n'uche nke m ọ da abụchakwa efulefu anwa na onye anwa yiri ihe anwa abụrụkwa na ọ bụ onye efulefu maka o nwere onye mma onye a bi obiro n'obodo a mana onye a na-agwa gị bụ a professional and a very intelligent woman ọnụgodi nwee ụmụazị tokwa anụ ịghọtago na-akpata ego. Ọ sị na ọ bụ efama onye ọrụ ugbo ka ọ bụ so mgbe ọbụla efuru ya o nwee ike ọbụna oyi boot yilu nika then ịmago chọọ jaket yilu ọ na-adịba amarọ m ka anyị ga-esi wee describe dressing ya mana onye Igbo ka ọ bụ mana ọ dị ejiji Igbo. Ọ sị na ihe ọ na-alụ na-eme ya ọ na-eke ụdị ekike anwa si na ọ banye ebe a na-eli nri ofu mbọsị ụmụ nwoke be anyị nọ ebe anwa ịghọtago ụmụ nwoke be anyị nọ na tebụl eli nri on their own ozugbo so ka ha fụrụ ya ka ọ na-abata then o sekwuru nke a na-ese ese ịma na ha ncha bụcha ihe eji akọjọ mmadụ asị na enụrụ onye a bụkwa efulefu ose tatu so mgbe afụrụ ya ọ sị na ha wee sụọ Igbo ha marọ na ọ na-anụ Igbo wee sị na nke a naligonu agha anụkwana ya anụ agha ọbara uru na onye a abụgolo efulefu mana ha marọ na ya na ụmụ ya yi and ụmụ ya abụgo graduates ụmụ ya etogo 5 boys or imago ụmụ ya about 5 or 6 of them ha ncha niile yi wee bịa ebe ahụ ha mara na ọ nụrụ Igbo a ọsọ ụmụ ya batachazie ọsị o jekwuru ha na tebụl ebe anwa ha nọ wee sị akwa ha sị na ọ bụ efulefu ha na-anya nọọ evidence ya bụ ihe evidence asị efulefu ọ bụ ịghọtago so ihe nnachi ikwu bụ na mgbe ụfọdụ ọda ejiji mmadụ ada akọwacha mmadụ ọfụma ọda akọwacha ihe mmadụ bụ ụfọdụ na-eyi ya nọọ ihe ibe ha na-eyi nọọ ihe na-ewu mana ihe anyị na-ekwu nke a ga-ebutelu gị nsogbu emekwana ya like nke as level a maka ụmụ anyị nwoke so eyi ma as level enwego ndị mma na-eme ihe as level a ha wee na-edevelopụzi bow leg adị ma body posture ọnọdụ ka ịmago o nwere ka ị ga-esi wee na-aga arụghị a na-ebendịkwa towards ebe ọ na-aghọ akwa oyi o were ọkpa nke aghodi o were nke aghodi ọkpa na-agbagọ ha marụkwa na ha na-enwe bow leg a in all honesty onye anwa na-eme ya ịma mma na ị na-enwe bow leg until ọ pụtacha ife ọ bụziala ihe oyite n'akwa so ka a na-eyi nke ga-enyelụ gị aka nke ga-adịghị mma na ndị ọbụla nwee nke ha na-eyi nwee reason ha ji eyi ya and onye na-eyikwa inwe ike nwekwa reason nke gị iji eyi ya so anyị ama na-afụ ya na onye yilu as level bụ efulefu ma onye yikwanụ nke nwa ekpuchichere arụ bụ efulefu at times ọ da-adịcha otu anwa mgbe ụfọdụ ọ bụkwa anụ ya mgbe ụfọdụ ma ya bụ nne
daalụ rinne ka anyị ṅụọ mmiri ọ bụ na anyị nachita azụ nkata anyị a na-aga n'iru ihe anyị na-ene anya bụ ejiji anyị na-ahụ kịta ebe ụmụ anyị nọ ọ na-akọwa agwa onye a bụ ka ọ nọdụ akọwa ya daalụ gị bụ onye ọma ka na-esonyela anyị ama m na ị na-aghọta ya dịka esi ekwu ya na nkọwa nke a na-akọwa onwe nke na-aba gị na ntị ejiji ị na-eji ọ na-akọwa ụdị mmadụ ịbụ ị na-eji ejiji ka ị wee kpaa aja agwa ka ị na-eji ejiji na ọ nke mmasị gị iyi sonyekwala anyị dịka anyị na-aga n'iru ka anyị na-ene n'anya ihe ụfọdụ na-apụta n'ejiji anyị na-eji mgbe na-abịa ebe ị nọ Precious oge ụfọdụ ọ dịka a ga-asị nọọ maka ejiji onye a na-eji ka o ji wee bụrụ ajọ nwa dịka isi wee kwuo mgbe ị na-ekwu okwu isi n'oge ụfọdụ a na-ene anya n'ihe nne yi na nne yie nwa ya yie oge ụfọdụ ifu nne yi ezigbo akwa ifu ka nwa ya yi nke ọjọọ ọ pụtara nọọ nne kụzieri ya
daalụ onye isi ekwukwere m na ọtụtụ mgbe ụmụaka na-emekwere ihe ndị ụmụaka ibe ha na-eme enwere ike aga na skuul maka ndị nwere ụfọdụ ụmụaka bi na skuul ihe ahụ nne kụziri ha hapụ ya n'ụlọ wee jebe skuul eruzie n'ụlọ akwụkwọ amụta nke ahụ nwa the pairs kụziri ọkaba ya isi karịa nke nne echefuo nke nne kụziri so ọ naghị awụcha nne akụzighị ọfụma nne nwere ike kwucha osinantị nke aba osinantị nke abụ akụziri ebe ahụ ya apụ maka na nke ahụ ọ chọrọ ya ọ laikiri nke ahụ nwata akwụkwọ ibi ekụziri usoro ha na-eme ụdị mma so ọwụ na nne anaghị ekwu ọwụ na nne anaghị akụzi mana sometimes anụrụcha the influence ha na-enweta from their parents na nka
echetara m oge anyị na-eto oge ụmụ anyị ka na-amụ ụmụ ndị otu anyị tegoro aka anyị mụcha ndị nke anyị ọ na-abụ nwa m nwaanyị nata isi ya ka esi otu ime ọ sị gị mba na ọ bụrụ ihe onye nkụzi nkwu anti said ọ dị gị ka o nwee ihe obodo kwesịrị ịdị na-eme na nkụziri ụmụaka dịka anyị si n'anya n'ejiji ụfọdụ akparamagwa ha ọ dị ka o nwee ihe obodo kwesịrị ime ma ọgodo ndị nkụzi ma ọgodo onye ọzọ nọ n'akụkụ kwesịrị ime tinye aka n'ịzụ nwatakịrị
daalụ nne onye isi oche ihe ọ dịkwa m ka anyị eme ihe a maka na ihe a bụrụ ọlụ ofu onye ịghọtago ọ bụrụ sọ ọlụ ndị nkụzi nke ọ ga-abụ sọ ọlụ nne na nna nke ọ ga-abụkwanụ sọ ọlụ obodo ọ ga-adị mma na agbakọrọ aka ọnụ ịghọtago wee mee ihe a because ịjụọ m n'uche nke m maka uche onye adịrị ya njọ ịmala ebe ị na-eje ịmala ihe ị ga-eyi eziokwu Igbo nwere omenani ndị ọcha nwere omenani and onye na-eyi nke ọ na-eyi nwere reason o ji eyi ya ụfọdụ nwere ike na-eji ụfọdụ ejiji ọ bụrụ nke ọ like ọ bụrụ nke ọ dị comfortable with even ụfọdụ ihe afụ na-akọfacha arụ ha niile ọ bụkwa ha nwa na-ada iwu a na-ene anya na onye nke ghebelarụ ya oghe na-eme kwesịrị ime ọ bụ onye nwa kpuchila arụ bụ ihe na-akpa alụ ịghọtago so n'uche nke m maka onye ọbụla nwere uche nke ya ọ bụrụkwa n'ejiji ka eji welu ekwu onye mmadụ o nwere ndị bụ just ọsị gị n'otu a ka ọ chọrọ ya ọsị ya ọ ghasacha isi wee na-aga n'otu ọ ghasada isi ya bụ nke ọ like mana ụfọdụ nwere ike kechicha ịchafụ maka afụgo m ndị kechicha ịchafụ a mee ihe ndị gba ọtọ emenwụrọ mana amakwa na ọ na-ekechi ịchafụ gbado Bible n'aka na-ejekwa ụka ya religiously and judiciously mana onye anwa a na-ene anya na ọ ya eme ụdị ihe anwa a na-ene anya ama eme di ya n'uche na sọsọ ihe ọ ma bụ na ọ laikili ihe a ma ọ nọọ ihe na-ewu o nwere ndị ọ ga-abụ n'anya kịta ihe ọbụla wupụtara n'akwa ọ ya egu ya ọ ya eyi ya o weli ya see foto dịka nke anyị na-afụcha ma nke ndị papa anyị na mama anyị macha ọnụ pensụl a ịna-anya ụfọdụ pictures nne gị ma nna gị ịfụ ebe ha yicha pensụl a isi so na ihe ewubugo ma nke a na-akpọ afro hair onwebugo mgbe owu ma nke a na-akpọ bongo owugo in the 70s mechaa na wee naghachite nke ọ naghachite ịfụzi ụmụazị ha yichaa bongo ị na-enene ha ị na-asị obe na fashion a nọ dị egwu ọma mma ị na-asị so n'ihe a magburu mma otu a wee ghara ịdị na-eyi ya mana ịma nọ nke akpọ fashion ọ bụrụ fashion and ndị na-ego with fashion esokwalu ibe the fashion style you get so my point ịjụọ m ịmala ebe ị na-eje ịmala ihe ị ga-eyi and ọ na-adịkwa mma mmadụ dress decently. Decent dressing nwechara ya grade by grade. Indecent nwekwa nke ya grade by grade. Ọ bụrụ dressing niile iwu abụrụ na ị ga-ekpuchichecha arụ gị a sị gị let it be short enough to cover the subject matter na ọ bụrụ ndị sụlụ oyibo inwe ike iyinwu efe dị short mana ọ ga-cover subject matter asịrọ gị yilu mbe n'ukwu gbaghalịba na main road ọ bụ na ị na-eje party decide ya iyi mbe n'ukwu ịmago na party ka ị na-eje yiri agbaghalị na main road yiri eje ụka yiri eje school ọ maka otu ndị be anyị si mebezie kpata ụfọdụ school kịta enwechazi ya uniform ụmụ akwụkwọ department ọbụla nwere uniform and akwaghị nekwaghị ihe esi wee kwe ya na-eke ihe esi wee kwe ọ bụ na ịkwari otu anwa because ụfọdụ na-abịa mefebe ihe oke ọkwa ihe mụnwa chekọs bazie some of these things maka ịfụzi ụfọdụ ọkwacha akwa obelala ya ala dị n'ilo enwecha dressing dị oke ịghọtago asịrọ gị na iwu bụ na ị ga-eyi meri ya maka gbada n'ọkpa because mmadụ ya na-anata ikuku hit na-emekwu so okpuchie oyi so ịmala ebe ị na-eje ịmala ihe ị ga-eyi eziokwu na fashion dịcha mana onye ọbụla ma ihe dị mma malụ nke adịrọ mma ịghọtago anụ ụmụ anyị kịta bụ ịzụcha ha ha pụọ ha ewela aka ha ma nke m ma nke mmadụ ha pụọ ha ewela aka ha zụgharịa onwe ha mana anyị ga na-agba mbọ mana ihe ọzọ nchọkwa ikwu ịma na-ekwu indecent dressing na maka ụfọdụ na-abịa weli ya na lọda si na onye nwa a na-ekwu maka GBV gender based violence or sexual harassment asị na onye anwa kọsụ ihe kpata eji wee repia maka na oyiro akwa ọfụma mana ihe m na-achọkwa ịgwọ ọrụ obodo bụ na ọsọkwa onye anwa gbala ọtọ inwekwa any right isi na ị ga-adakpue na ọ na-anwa gị na ọ na-eme nke nwa a na-anwa gị chọkwube ndị ala niile gba ọtọ na main road because ọ nwe onye mụ na ya bịa ime argument the other day nwesị ya ọ bụ na onye anwa gbala ọtọ na-akpaghala isi na ọ na-anwa gị fụ ya so onye ala because na ịfụ onye ala eme adakpu ya so fụ onye anwa azụ onye ala ifuru anya azụ onye ala ime
adakpie n'ike nke a nụnwa bakwa n'anya ya maka na ndị be anyị na-asị na ọ maka na oyi akwa o wee metụta ya n'arụ nya wee dị tempted onye ala temtkwe gị ka ọ na-amara ihe
nke a bụ asị ọcha because na ọ bụrụ ya ka eji welu ama onye eme ihe na
daalụrị nne na mkpokọta okwu gị Precious ke ndụmọdụ ị ga-adụ ọ bụ nwa agbọghọ ọ bụ nwa okoro na-ene n'anya banyere ejiji anyị na-eji.
Ana m asị ma nwoke ma nwaanyị ka anyị nebara anya ihe anyị na-eyi n'ihi na ka ị dị ka a ga-esi mee gị address. The way you dress is the way you are dressed. So na-enebara anya na ejiji ị na-eji were apụ n'ihu ọ dị very important.
Daalụ barrister kọwake na-eme ihe a o kwuru ọfụma ana m achọ ịmụta ya kwe m mmụta the way you dress is the way you are dressed.
Ihe ọ pụtara bụ na ka isi wee kwado ka anyị esi wee gwa gị okwu dịka isi kwubuo na ụfọdụ fụ ka isi wee dress afụghị azụ onye efulefu esi otu anwa wee adresị gị anya nwa ka mụnwa na onwe m dị ekwu ịmala ebe ị na-eje ịmala ihe ị ga-eyi maka na onwe nke ị ga-eyi lebata ofu ebe mindset mentality anwa n'uche ndị anwa ha afụgoghị as onye na-ana iyi onye efulefu enwe ike gwa gị okwu anyhow without knowing your position ha ama mmakwanụ na edoro n'ụdị anwa ha na-eche. So I'll keep on saying ịmala ebe ị na-eje ịmala ihe ị ga-eyi.
Daalụ gị bụ onye ọma sonyela anyị okwu m ga-etinyelu gị bụ ihe barrister kwuru ịmala ebe ị na-eje ịmara ihe ị ga-eyi ọ bụ na ị na-eje ụlọ ụka ije yite mbe n'ukwu kedu ihe ị chọọ ka agwa gị ebe a ma ọ bụrụ na ị na-eje ebe a na-eme pati ije yite Maria Amaka ịfụ ha na ọ dabaghị ya bụ ọ bụrụ na ị chọọ ka agwa gị ezigbo okwu yiri ezigbo efe ga-egosi ka egosi onye ịbụ ka e wee gwa gị ezigbo okwu o wee bụrụ ebe a ka anyị na-ekpokọta nke mbọsị taa ana m ekene unu maka isonyere anyị ama m na ọzọ m ga-akpọ unu na ị ga-abịa barrister Precious daalụ maka isonyere anyị mụnwa bụ Ngozi Ọtahumele na-asị unu mbọsị ọzọkwa sonyela anyị na Aneke TV na nzukọ ụmụ nwaanyị ka akụzikwa elu gị nke ọzọ ị na-amarụ ka o mesịa.
my dear viewer, many thanks to you for joining us on this session on Aneke Television today. My name is Chris Anibogo. As you may well know that the 36th Enugu International Trade Fair, which is an annual ritual as far as business promotion in Nigeria, Southeast Enugu is concerned, I just come to an end here in Enugu State. Well, lots of businesses actually participated. We saw the level of governmental involvement and promotion as well. But today we have the honor of being joined on the show by the Director General of the Enugu Chamber of Commerce, Industries, Finance and Agriculture on the show today.
We just concluded the 36th edition of the Enugu International Trade Fair. The closing ceremony held on the 14th of April 2025. And interestingly and honestly, it was a super experience, a super outing. For the first time in the recent years, we were able to host large and big companies in Enugu, all thanks to His Excellency Dr. Ndubisi Pitamba, whose activities in the city, whose programs in the city has made it that people are getting more interested in coming to Enugu to know what is happening in Enugu. And the chamber, our leadership in the chamber, the current leadership of the chamber, has refused to deviate from the plans and programs of the state government. The leadership of the chamber, led by Sir Odega Jidong, the president of HESIMA, is focused and has queued into the developmental program of the state government. And working in that scene, we were able to attract a number of big companies to Enugu this year. So the fair was very successful, and we are glad that it happened.
Were there challenges? Were there challenges? Beginning from the planning stage all through to the execution. We understand the trade fair ran for 10 days from 4th to 14th April 2025. I don't know, were there challenges?
Of course, we are in Nigeria. So even beyond Nigeria, even in advanced nations, there is no place you won't see challenges. And knowing how our economy in Nigeria is, the economic situation of the country, and the trade fair is a core economic activity, you should know that there should be challenges. However, those challenges, we refuse to allow them, stop us. We refuse to allow them reduce our energy. Okay. Yeah, we ensure that our energy overcomes the challenges. Yeah, many companies, that should have been in the fair could not make it because, one, most of them are having issues with, having products that they can come to exhibit at the fair. They were willing to come, but, ability to access foreign exchange, ability to access dollar to be able to bring in their raw materials and what have you, has affected many companies. And it affected the number of companies we had expected to be at the fair. Beyond that also, the issue of electricity, high cost of electricity and high cost of diesel, and affected our income seriously. So it's also a challenge for us because we want to organize the fair in a way that cost of participation will be very low, so that even small businesses can be able to participate. But we must, ask participants to pay at least for us to be able to take care of our head. And in doing that, it's not just easy. There are also challenges getting traffic to the trade fair complex is a major challenge. You know, driving traffic to the trade fair complex. You know that trade fair complex used to be here, where we have our office now. But because we are growing, and because the government feels we need to have a permanent site, we moved to the permanent site. Though when we moved to the area where we have our permanent site, the area was not well developed. But currently the area is developed, well built up, people are living around there. But how to drag traffic to that area is an issue, considering that it is an area that looks like it is outskirts of the major municipal town or major Enugu city. So it's an issue. We were thinking that the CNG buses of the government that we're expecting should have started working before then. So yes, so we were looking at if we can have routes of the CNG going along that Gulf Estate area so that people can be able to access that place.
How are you able to, sail through these challenges? One, the Enugu International Trade Fair should be the third across the Federation.
Is even the second.
The second.
Yes, after Lagos International Trade Fair, the next should be Enugu. Kaduna. Yeah, Kaduna. Then Abuja recently, because of its status as the Federal Capital Territory, Abuja has the right now to organize an international trade fair. Yeah.
Okay. Now, if that's the case, we expect that there should be some level of funding by the federal government. Isn't that what it should be?
Okay, thank you very much.
So to help the Chamber of Commerce to be able to facilitate what they need to do.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chris. I'm sure you have visited or you were at the Enugu International Trade Fair. Yes. You can see the complex. That place, development started I think in 1999 or thereabout. As we speak, federal government investment in that place is just about 8 or 10% or 8% of what it should be, the total development plan.
Which is a problem.
It's a big problem. It's a big problem. That is why when you come to our fair, you see that virtually all you see, or greater percentage of what you see will be makeshift structures, not permanent structures for exhibitors. So, and that affects the cost of participation. But all thanks to the present governor of Enugu State, at least he has been able to deal with issue of road network around and inside the trade fair complex. And queuing in his plan, like I said earlier, the president of the chamber also decided to do the first 3,000 square meter exhibition hall. In fact, the chamber decided to take the bull by its horn, not waiting for the federal government to invest again in that complex. We are no more waiting for those promises that you are not hoping to get. So the chamber president now started the development of a 3,000 square meter exhibition hall, which currently is about 70% at the completion level, and he assured exhibitors at the closing ceremony that by August this year, that building will be ready, fully air conditioned, so that next year people will use it for trade fair.
Could you talk to us about the prospects that come with the trade fair? Why must people keep coming to the trade fair? Is it necessary?
Yes, very necessary. One company, Bivon Ricks, they are into production of. They have patent right for distribution of Ricks perfume and confettis. They were at the trade fair. When they came, distributors came to buy their products. They said to distributors, we're not selling to you. We want to sell to users, end users. So for them, it's a place to take feedback from end users.
As the DG of SMA, I want you to look to the camera and talk to our people.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chris. Like you said, the 37th Enugu International Trade Fair has been scheduled. It's holding from March 20th to March 30th. That is 30th of March, 20th of March to 30th of March 2026 at same venue. So many people have asked us to move it to another venue, but we said no. We have to develop that venue.
Because of that location?
Yes, we have to develop.
It's off time.
But we have to make things happen there. Once things begin to happen there, keep sugar anywhere, ant will go there. So what we are doing in the chamber is to bring sugar to that place so that all the ants in Enugu, in the form of the citizens, will come down to that place.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir.
Uchemba, the DG of SMA Enugu, for finding time to talk with us on Aneke television.
Thank you, sir.
And we hope and wish that better days will come.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chris. You're a great man.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. Aneke TV, we're grateful.
Yes, of course. It's still appreciating you and appreciating us as well. So until come your way again, keep watching Aneke television. My name is Chris. Bye for now.
Nigeria Students Legislative Council Enugu State Chapter has honored the Chief Executive Officer, CEO, Aneke Television and Online TV in Enugu, Chief Pascal Onyeka Aneke, with a Lifetime Award. The group presented him with an award of recognition and support for his exceptional contributions to youth empowerment, media excellence, and community development. The award was presented to him during the maiden edition of the Council's 2025 Intercampus Debate held at Peaceland University, Enugu. Presenting the award, the President of the Council, Enugu Chapter, Mr. Makata Chukwuma, said the award was a distinguished leadership prize for excellence for individuals who contribute to societal transformation. According to him, there are those who live for the benefit of others and dedicated themselves to the promotion of education, excellence, and good governance. He described Chief Aneke as humble, benevolent personality and a promoter of excellence. He commended him for his dedication to youth empowerment and consistent support to the council, stressing that the award was to appreciate him for his support to advancement of the objectives of the council. Mr. Chukwuma urged Nigerians to effect positive change in the society with their substance, talents, and gifts.
Your support for students' development and democratic engagement remains invaluable. This event is not just a debate, it is a celebration of knowledge, dialogue, and civil responsibility. It represents a landmark moment for student legislative leadership across Enugu State and beyond. For the first time in history, student parliaments from universities, polytechnics, and college of education are gathered here not in protest, not in silence, but in intellectual engagement, driven by purpose and passion for societal progress. We believe that true leadership starts with ideas, and this debate is a platform for our students to voice those ideas boldly, intelligently, and responsibly. Today, we are planting seeds of active citizenship, public policy awareness, and legislative consciousness in the mind of young leaders. This is the very heart of what NSLC stands for. As students, we may not yet sit at the policy-making table of our nations, but with platforms like this, we are preparing ourselves to build tables of our own. This initiative is not only about arguments, it is about understanding the issues, defending the truth, and proposing solution to the real challenges affecting our people.
Responding, the CEO, Aneke TV, Chief Pascal Aneke, said he was overwhelmed by the recognition and expressed gratitude that the council found him worthy of the award. Chief Aneke, represented by the manager of the television, Mr. Frederick Chibuike China, promised to continue to identify with any initiative that advances humanity and promotes skills development.
Thank you so much. It's an honor to be here. My name is Right Honorable China Chibuike Frederick, the Aneke TV manager, also the National Assistant Secretary General, Nigerian Student Council. So, with gratitude and heartfelt, I'm honored to be here to represent my principal, Chief Dr. Pascal Aneke Oyeka, the CEO of Aneke TV Aneke Foundation. Well, the organization was founded out of compassion, and also Aneke TV is also founded to give voice to voiceless. And we say thank you to Nigerian Student Council, Enugu State Chapter, and also on behalf of the entire Nigerian Student Council, we say congratulations to Enugu State, and we are proud that the chairman of NSLC Enugu State, Honorable Makaka Chukwu, we are proud of him, and we say thank you and God bless you.
In an interview, the majority leader, Enugu State House of Assembly and the member representing Enugu North constituency, Mr. Johnson Ani, described the event as a veritable platform to learn. He therefore called on the students to keep learning to enable them to achieve their life-chosen careers.
Wow, this is superb because I believe they say the youth are the future of tomorrow. And that is what we are seeing here today, because the same debate they are doing here today is similar thing that we approved in the House about a few months ago, and we find it correct to the state, to the good people of Enugu State. And what a day we find, I came here and the same, because I was not aware of the topic today. So when I came in, I saw that they are treating the same topic. So I've learned a little bit again too from them again as well. Yeah, the advice I have for the students is just that they should keep pressing, because I believe the process of learning is acquiring more knowledge, and no amount of knowledge is too big or neither too small. But the most important thing, keep pressing hard. I believe tomorrow we'll get to that dream future by the grace of God.
Nigeria Students Legislative Council is a platform that allows students participate in democratic processes, represent their interests, and advocate for positive change within their educational institutions and communities. This is done through learning and engaging in legislative processes, developing leadership skills, and promoting students' welfare. The occasion was well attended by students from other tertiary institutions in Enugu State, friends, professional bodies, and civil society groups. Highlights of the event include the presentation of prizes to winners in the debate competition and awards to some notable individuals who had impacted positively lives on members of the council. Jidofo Ebuche, Aneke TV.
The management of Aneke Television has paid a courtesy visit to the Commandant, Nigeria Security and Civil Defense Corps, NSCDC, Enugu State Command, Dr. Elijah Etimweli. The visit, which took place at the Commandant's office in Enugu, was aimed at fostering synergy and strengthening collaboration between the station and the command. Obinobu, head of administration of the station, while speaking during the meeting, commended the NSCDC dedication to safeguarding national assets and maintaining peace and security in the area. He said the visit aimed to reaffirm and strengthen the existing collaboration between the TV and the NSCDC, and also acknowledged the NSCDC's efforts at securing the state. Obu further stressed the importance of cordial relationship between the NSCDC and the station, saying such collaboration was necessary for the promotion of peace, transparency, and credible information dissemination.
As a nascent television station, we have come to an understanding that there's no way we could flow and operate and gain ground in the society without collaborating with the security agencies like yours. That's why we have deemed it to come around as a way to familiarize ourselves with you, especially data that has to do with your core mandate, areas of protection of national assets, and other areas of concern which the Constitution ascribes to you. So from time to time, as an agency, we would like to be having this first-class information so as to help us to keep the public informed from time to time, so that they will not be ignorant of the happenings, especially your work and the operation of the agency in the state.
Responding, the Commandant, Nigeria Security and Civil Defense Corps, NSCDC, Enugu State Command, Dr. Elijah Etim Willie, appreciated the visit and expressed readiness to work with the station to achieve shared goals. He assured the station of his office's openness and commitment to a robust working relationship, saying the media remains a critical partner in maintaining public order and public enlightenment.
Thank you, your team, your crew, for that, that show of love. Concern. If you don't love an agency, you will not cover it. And so I see your love for us, and I pray the collaborativeness continue. And I want to also tell you that if you have challenge, anybody is challenging you, you need my security coverage, come and report, and the person will run away.
The NSCDC Commandant also reaffirmed the Corps' commitment to safeguarding educational institutions such as primary, post-primary to tertiary institutions. The visit was capped with the group photographs. For Aneke TV, it's been Chinwen.
All right, a very good morning to you. Welcome to the program Aneke Sports, reaching live on Aneke TV here in Coal City, Enugu State. My name is Gideon Weke, and I'm joined on the show Happiness Ajibo. Happiness, good morning.
Good morning, Gideon, and good morning, sports lovers. I am so pumped for the weekend already because this weekend is so packed with so much activity, starting with tonight's game with Ghana versus South Africa for the third place fight. And then tomorrow we also going to see the WAFCON finals with Nigeria as against Morocco. And then Sunday we have the Euro Women's finals, England versus Spain. So I'm so pumped. I can't wait to discuss about that.
Sure. It's a weekend for women. And then from the third place match today, finals tomorrow, and then on Sunday, European finals also will be capping it up. But we are going to look at secondary school games. That is what is trending in Omar here. And Nigerian delegation that left yesterday for Algeria for the maiden edition of African All Secondary School competition that will be taking place in Algeria. I also bring to you the CHAN preparation, how our Super Eagles team be. They're already in Zanzibar as they landed today. We are going to look at how their preparation and the training will be going before leaving for the main venue where the CHAN tournament will be taking place. Remember, 3 countries will be hosting this time: Uganda, Kenya, and I think Tanzania also will be part of one of the hosts in this year's tournament. So we'll take a short break. When we come back, the show continues. Welcome to the show, Aneke Sports, reaching live on Aneke TV here in Enugu, Coal City. We are going to start from the home front. MPFL, Nigeria Professional Football League, is like some club sides are actually getting ready for the upcoming season. It will start next month. We have Barrow FC, beg your pardon, actually got promoted to the top flight after winning the NNL Super 8 that took place in Asada in Edo State actually, and they are looking good to start the Top Flight League season in a very wonderful, dramatic way. Yesterday, we saw them hire the services of Ladan Brosu. Ladan Brosu is a popular name when it comes to domestic and even national football in Nigeria. One-time coach of Nigeria national team. He was coach Kano Pillars, Wiki Tories, Academy Warriors. Now they've hired him, in Bawa FC to come as the technical director, and he's expected to work with their head coach Rabiu Tata. Rabiu Tata is also very experienced. Remember, this man led the Bawa FC from the MLF, from the lower league to the top flight. It's not actually easy for a coach to take a team from the lower league to promotion. So this time around, bringing Ladan Brosu to work with Tata, Rabiu Tata will be a big combo there on the sideline to help Bawa FC. This is what we saw when Mountain of Fire and Ministry came, when Ilechukwu, the current coach of Rangers, led Ilechukwu to the second place on the table. Mountain of Fire actually came from nowhere, privately owned, and they represented Nigeria in the Continental for the first time. Now, Remo Stars, also privately owned, is going to be representing Nigeria. They are currently the champions of Nigeria Professional Football League. Now we have another team from Kano, Darua FC. They are bringing experience again. Rabiu Tata and Ladan Brosu, to the sideline to make sure they give Nigerians quality football. So we are going to experience what I call competitive MPFL season.
I'm so pumped for that as well, because I just saw in the news today that one of the big guns in the Reno Stars gave the best player for Reno Stars an SUV.
Sure.
Yes, so everybody is trying to pump their players for the upcoming season, because these titles are becoming like one of the is becoming very, very competitive now. And then this one that Kano has two clubs competing for the title is going to be a really serious one, because now they have the Kano Pillars and the newly Bora FC, right?
Bora
FC. All right. So it's going to be a really, really tough one, because it's going to be a very competitive league coming up this August.
Now in Kano, another twist in Kano, since they have two clubs now, they have Kano Pillars and Bawa FC, and just yesterday they also hired again Evans. Evans has been their big names there in Kano. He once coached them in 2023, and he brought them out from relegation, and they finished 8th. So he's coming back again, to lead this team. So I'm wondering when they will play a kind of a derby, a home game like, in Kano, and the match is going to be played in Kano, Bawa FC and Kano Pillars. I wonder how the game will look like. It's just like Enda and Abia Warriors.
Yes, because it is going to be really, really serious and a tough one for me to say, because when it comes to this kind of league games, right? And it's now going to be from the same state.
Yes.
Now the residents there will be torn apart. Who they're going to support.
Sure.
Now they already know the old guns, the Kano Pillars, and now the Bawa FC that is actually coming up. They might even become a better team this season, and the fans will be torn apart who they are going to root for in the derby if it finally comes.
Anyways, we're looking forward to see a very strong league come August when it will start, and we want to know who is going to wear the crown, whether Remo Stars will be coming back to retain the title, or another team from another state will be taking over the leadership of the table from Remo Stars. Remember, if you win, that means you're going to be in Continental. And the good thing about the Continental now is that CAF has already increased Continental participating money. So if we are playing, we have to play to go and win more money. So that's all about MPFL. And I know more stories will be coming up in the coming days, because even the 3SC that have parted ways with Ogumbo Bengo Ogumbote, I know they are looking forward to see a new coach. They will sign a new coach soon. So we'll bring you up to speed. We'll keep you updated on coach signings, player signings in the NPFL. Now, away from there, let's go to Morocco, where the Women African Nations Cup is ongoing. Today we'll be seeing the third place match between Ghana and South Africa. Both two teams very tactical. South Africa, they are the defending champions. Unfortunately, they were not able to defend their title. Nigeria took that chance from them, from the goal for Michel Alozie, a very late goal for Michel Alozie, made them not be able to continue with the title defense. But they have a third place match to play today, and I know they wouldn't want to go back home empty-handed, even as defending champions. Now, Ghana is also a tactical team. We saw from the group stage how they've been able, to pull through to this third place game. They've not they succeeded not to concede so much goals from the group stage to this. And playing against South Africa also, they always want to score. Remember South Africa's game against Nigeria? They always want to score first, and then. But I am sure that Ghana might not give them that opportunity.
Yes, for the South Africa versus Ghana's match tonight, like you earlier said, the Ghana folks are actually very, very tactical.
Yeah.
Very, very tactical. We've seen it time and time again in their style of play when they played against the Morocco, the Algeria, and then they really held their front, and if not because they were kicked out at the penalties, they would have been a very, very tough one to play. So the only problem I have with Ghana, like I always say, is that they are not clinical in converting their goals. However, for South Africans, they know what they want. They come with full force. They come with so much zeal, and like you said, they don't want to go back empty-handed because they are the defending champions. And the only right thing for them to do is to go back home with the bronze medal, and to go back home with the $350,000 that is also at stake here. So it's going to be a really tough game. And but I'm actually seeing the game having so much goals. I don't know why. I'm seeing like 2 goals upwards in that game.
So let's do the prediction. I know a lot of people are also waiting for a prediction tonight. All the predictions so far, they've been very correct, on point. I know if people are taking an advantage, they must be cashing out. They should be cashing out. Now, South Africa, Ghana, what do you think?
Okay, for South Africa, Ghana, I'm seeing like 2 goals, but I don't know if it's going to swing 1-1, but I'm seeing like 2 goals in the match. It could swing either 1-1, then to go to extra time, and then whoever is the best man clinch the title. Then for the Nigeria versus Morocco, it's also going to be a really tough match, because first and foremost, Nigeria is going to that match to clinch the 10th title. If they win, clinch the 10th title, because the last time they won was in 2018, and they've been struggling to take up the title after then, and then they've been 9 times winners as well. So it's going to really be a very tough one. And then Morocco on the other end, this is the second time they're coming to the finals, and they want to prove themselves that they are actually a contender for the title. So the last time that they played against South Africa, they were unable to win the title. This time around, they're playing against Nigeria. They want to push forward and take the title. And remember, it's also a host game, and then they have the 13th man, which is their fans who will come to rally around.
I'll be shouting.
And understand. And remember, in the last match that Nigeria played against Morocco in 2022, we saw that the match was really, really a tough one. Nigeria was leading. Do you get? And then it was because they are like the host country, and they had their 13th player who was doing the whole booing and making sure that everything was going their way. The fans were pointing lasers at our players, and then we saw how Nigeria got the red card in the match, and then the potential red card that Moroccans are supposed to get, they didn't get it, and then we got another red card again, which they later capitalized and made them to draw the match that particular day, which made
went into penalty. Yes.
We lost 5-4.
Yeah.
It was really a terrible one for us, but I'm sure that our coach Justin Madago is able to see all the team, because he was even saying as of yesterday that he approaches every game by what the team has to offer. So he assess the team, and what kind of tactics to put in place for that particular game. So I'm hoping and I'm really hoping for the game, because since the game started, we only considered just one goal, which was even by penalties. And we've had a very, very good front. We have our girls doing 1 or 2 for us. We have Rashidat, we have Okonkwo, we have Michelle Alozie holding the whole front for us. So I'm seeing us doing a really great one, and we shouldn't underestimate the Moroccans. We shouldn't underestimate them, being that this is the second time we are meeting them again. So it's going to be a really, really tough game. And for my predictions, I'm seeing like 3 goals, maybe 2-1 in the favor of Nigeria.
All right, talking about Nigeria game on Saturday with Morocco, CAF has already nominated a center referee, and this one is coming from Namibia. Yes. Namibia is a sister country very close to South Africa. So I'm actually worried. I'm actually worried that this person is coming from Namibia to referee Nigeria game against Morocco. Asino Tawayankwa is the name, and for a lot of she has a lot of pedigree. We saw officiation throughout this African Cup of Nations. I think she's good. But the issue of looking at the geographical connection, I think there's going to be a kind of emotional attachment, sentimental attachment, having in Namibia, refereeing Nigerian game against Morocco. That's my own opinion. I'm not trying to play devil's advocate for Nigeria, but all I know is that Ansilo will bring in professionalism. He will bring in professionalism into the association. For CAF to have nominated her to see to that final is a very big opportunity. In fact, she mentioned, on her X platform that this is a dream come true, because it's going to be the first time she will be doing that in all CAF competition. So it's a very big opportunity, and you can imagine if she does that very well. That means she's also on FIFA's radar, and we might not be surprised when her name will pop up in any FIFA Women's World Cup, even if possible, to referee FIFA Women's World Cup final, and which is going to be very historic, seeing an African referee FIFA Women's final. But we also have other referees that will be helping her. You have the video assistant referees team that will be led by Rwanda's Salima Mukasanda, a pioneer in global football officiation, and one of the most respected figures in the females team. Then for the assistant referee, we have Alex Muteksi, who is also from Rwanda, as the assistant referee 1, and then Tabara Modi, that's from Senegal, is going to be the assistant referee 2 in that particular game. So we have Rwanda, we have Senegal, we have Namibia to decide the fate of Morocco and Nigeria. As for your prediction, you already said you are seeing 3 goals coming in favor of Nigeria. So I actually want to advise punters today. Please, I'm begging you, read my mouth. Please, I'm begging you. I think it's good to go just for goals, no goals to come, instead of putting yourself in a tight corner saying Nigeria win or Morocco win. CAF might be very, you might want to play a very fast one. This is the second time Morocco hosting. I know they will want to win by all costs, or else they host another one for them to win. Anyway, from African Women's Nations Cup, let's talk about secondary school sports. At this time around, we are coming back to Nigeria. In Abia State, 1,000 students will be competing in the second edition of Abia All Secondary School Games that will be starting from tomorrow. This time around, you can imagine 1,000 students coming to compete, according to the commissioner of Abia State Youth and Sports, talking about Sir Obilo and Namba. He told newsmen that this program is actually designed to discover new talents and promote youth sports development in Omaha. This is going to be taking place in Omaha Township Stadium, and then you have sports like taekwondo, basketball, football, volleyball, and shooting among the featured events. You can imagine even shooting also is part of the sports. And we told newsmen that these are champions from the 17 local governments in Abia State coming to compete. You can imagine the best from each local government, the 17 local government coming to compete. That means we're going to see a very stiff competition. This is the second time it's happening in Abia State. Last year, according to Obilo, he said that some talent discovered, most of them have been invited to Hungary, most of them are in Barcelona. Even a local coach was sent to undergo foreign training in coaching in Barcelona, which is also a good one. In fact, the contingent that left Nigeria yesterday for Algeria, we also have talent discovered in their maiden edition last year as part of the contingent, which has paid. And he's saying that this one they are going to do is going to be an improvement, something way ahead of what we saw last year in Abia, which is also very good. It's a wake-up call to all states in Southeast. We saw what happened in the National Sports Festival. It's just a payback for them. They won't go, they won more medals than any other states in Southeast. And if you do a Southeast Sports Festival, I'm sure, because they started, I'm sure they will come first on the medal table. So for Enugu, even though I spoke with the media director of media and publicity, Mr. Dan on webinar, for Enugu State Ministry of Youth and Sports, he said yes, they are going to do a holiday sports program to select people that will represent Enugu in the upcoming National Youth Games that will take place in Asaba next month. Now, Abia is setting the pace. Enugu must follow. All the southeastern states must follow. I said it earlier today in our Sunrise show that sports is a multi-billion-dollar business industry and is the employer of labor. If you invest in sports and you have a plethora of talents, you find out you have just a little people to start canvassing for white collar job. Who wants white collar job when you can be earning in millions every week? You check out those guys playing in the European leagues, whether it's top flight in Europe, whether it's third tier, whether it's second tier, whether it's fourth tier, whether it's fifth tier, they are all earning in pounds, euros, thousands every week. It's a very big money. And these monies are being imported into Nigeria, helping us, increasing our GDP. So I think Nigerians should wake up, to promoting school sports.
Yes, you're definitely right. And like you earlier mentioned about the Abia State governor trying to, inculcate the habit of sportsmanship in the youngsters this period is really, really nice, because it's kind of like try to harness the talent from the streets and help them to, groom their talents to become better in the future. You understand? And then, Enugu recently just created a 11-man committee in volleyball. So I think Enugu is learning from Abia State. So we are just encouraging more states to put in more efforts, into this whole sports. What's the right word to use now?
Secondary schools,
grassroots sport for the youngsters, because it's kind of help these youngsters groom their talent from a young age. Because once the talent is being grown from a young age, when they grow older, they can actually venture into such sports and make a livelihood from that. And then we also see how Nigeria is also trying to bring in some sports competitions in the home front. They are doing the tennis. They want to bring in the Formula One and the rest. So I'm thinking Nigeria is now seeing the benefits of having sports in the country. So they are trying to harness into that harness into that well, and into that well of wealth and bring it back home.
All right, still talking about school sports. Nigerian delegation to the maiden edition of African school sports that will be taking place in Annaba, Algeria, left Nigeria yesterday for Algeria, where that competition will be taking place, and we have 60 student athletes making up that delegation. What we saw on the report was that they are all selected across the state, to make up the 60 students, and they are expected to compete in so many games like taekwondo, beach canoe game, and swimming is also there. You have badminton and handball. These are games that is expected Nigeria delegation to compete. This is the first time I pray they come back with a lot of medals, for Nigeria. We report the president of the country, Bola Ahmed Tinubu, approved a lot of money for their logistics to make sure that these lads, have a very wonderful stay in Algeria. But just be assured that Aneke TV from here will be bringing you latest reports on that particular event. Now, away from there, let's talk about the Chan Eagles. They're already in Zanzibar today, as it was reported earlier that they landed Zanzibar today with Chele and his 25 boys there in Zanzibar. They started training already. They are going to stay there for 2 days before moving to their main venue, where they will be playing the main CHAN competition. Remember, it will be hosted by 3 nations: Uganda, Tanzania, and Kenya. Now, Nigeria will have their day, playing a lot of strong countries, in their group. And this tournament is going to start from August 2nd, and will last through. Last time, they were not able to win. So we just pray they win this time around.
Yes, and I like what Eric Chele is actually doing. He is a very focused coach, and he has tried to, pick the best of the best in the 25-man squad that he actually selected some couple of days ago. So these players that he has selected, the best of the best, he doesn't want to give them a breather.
Yeah.
Already training already. The competition is starting on the 3rd of August, but they decided to take a couple of days off to just, keep at it, just keep playing. And then I heard that they are going to play the senior team of Zanzibar in the coming days, just to warm up their legs for the competition. And remember, we are facing some top guns. We are facing Senegal, we are facing Togo and Sudan in the Group D stage. Yeah. So it's going to be like a really, really good one for the boys, because it's kind of like prep them when their competitors are trying to get into the accommodation and try to relax. They are still getting themselves familiarized with the environment. They are keeping fit. They are trying to get themselves ready for the competition that's going to come up in August 3rd. And hopefully we are going to see the Nigerian Team B, Super Eagles, take our flag up and do well.
All right, this tournament will be featuring 19 countries: Uganda, Kenya, Tanzania, Sudan, Guinea, Mauritania, Niger Republic, Nigeria, Burkina Faso, Morocco, Central African Republic, Congo, DR Congo, Angola, Zambia, Madagascar, and defending champions Senegal for this competition. But I think on Monday we'll be looking at the group, see who are in which group, and then see the possibilities of Nigeria manipulating or maneuvering from the group stage to the quarterfinals. That's away from there. Finally, before we wrap it up on the show, I just wish we could spend more time here, but time is not our friend. Let's talk about Hulk Hogan. A lot of wrestling lovers will be missing this old man. 71 years, took his exit from the living. He was reported that he died as a result of cardiac arrest in his Florida home, age 71. A lot of people don't know his real name, Terry Bolley. That's the real name. And then with the reports, he actually did well for himself, leaving so much money, $120 million US. I think $20 million US for the family. That's what he left behind. So, but apart from the money, this man gave us entertainment.
Yes.
He gave us entertainment. He made our screen beautiful every time because of our Kogan. There's one other guy, Warrior, Ultimate Warrior. You know, when you beat Ultimate Warrior at that time, and Warrior wants to resolve, we just do like this, and we'll be jacking as if there is earthquake. They were the two rivals then, Ultimate Warrior and Hokogan. So unfortunately, we've lost Hokogan yesterday so bad. Remember Hokogan also acted some movies. I can't remember. There's one particular movie I saw him on instead. It was very interesting in his, we were all wishing, singing RIP to him. We will miss him. We'll miss him on the screen. A very wonderful entertainer. I think we'll wrap it up here because it's already time. We'll be saying goodbye at this point. My name is Gideon Weke. Many thanks to Happiness I devoted part of the show.
Thank you very much. It's always a pleasure to be here.
Until Monday, have a very wonderful, entertained, and thrilling weekend ahead. Bye for now.